So I talked about.
Chat, what's up? How we doing? Hello, hello, hello.
I had to step up to the plate here.
Sound actually looks pretty good. What's up, everyone?
Yeah, this is certainly something that Moist Shopify are going to have to dig in deep and really dig into their play.
A little best of three.
Firing all cylinders. Mata, obviously a superstar.
Houdini, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the 20 months. Thank you for that. First of the day. Appreciate you doing that, man.
So 1.9 KDA, 264 ADS with an
smaller camera. Dude, I made it bigger for
even for a duelist.
Made it bigger for my pick'ems.
This needs to be something where it needs
then
to be
I just kind of guessed where it was. What?
And we've seen this TSM team and how they've
Symmetry, dude.
Team play.
How many is that? I can't even.
100. Them having like a scrappy style of play, and they're going to struggle against a team.
I'm not even sure we got 100 viewers right now.
Out, right, and it's easy to look at Moist yesterday.
Symmetry, chat. I don't even know. Sometimes it just feels like the slug oiler just isn't enough. Give me the biggest spam you guys have got. Give me the biggest spam you guys have got of slug oiler. Make sure if you got gifted, you say thank you to Symmetry. 100, bro. Symmetry, you've reached 1,000. And what's your? How long have you been subbed for?
Look at just kind of across.
Reached 1,000 in 6 months.
Things that could be shaking up.
Yeah, look,
that's insane, bro. The big 1,000. Holy. That's insane, dude. That is insane. Symmetry, thank you so much, man. Thank you. You are now one of 4 people that have gifted over 1,000. That's ridiculous, man. Again, if you got gifted from Symmetry, make sure you say thank you. Maybe you didn't get gifted, you just want to say thank you to him anyway. There's a good amount of slug oilers as well, everyone. Symmetry, man, I can't thank you enough, bro. Honestly.
Here and there, and you cook them with gas. It's the post-plant
That's so crazy.
Well and truly worth looking
That's
at.
mental.
This is a team
Granddad Granny as well, getting involved. Case bars
They're
as well. Thank you so much, man. Dude, even the YouTube chat's giving you some W's as well.
Decide where they're ending. They're normally making a very informed decision about where to set up. And
Symmetry, man, thank you so much. Thank you.
So that's 2 very different parts of the game that these 2 teams excel.
Granny_OW, dude, double grannies. What's going on here?
Yeah, and looking at
thank you for the 7 months as well.
The amount of time.
Symmetry, you're just a crazy guy.
Okay, going on to the
That's all I got for you.
That's all I got.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Thank you.
A little bit of a struggle for MxS. I'm kind of
getting a good amount of you saying thank you as well. We love that.
Oh, I'm intrigued with how about this is going to be going.
Did I buy the bundles yet? 1 day left. What do you mean 1 day left?
Of this match. This is elimination for one team, and the other is going to be moving on to Ascension. So there is absolutely so much here.
Submentos 0, bro.
We've got to see these 2
what is
teams
this?
play against each other.
Dude, it's an instant level 9 sub train. That's insane. Submentos 0 with the prime. Thank you. Delicious wings with the prime. Jake Cav. Wait, Cav is in CS Cav, right? Thank you so much, Cav. Appreciate the 5 months. Good to see you. If that is you as well with the prime, thank you.
Their loss, right, and coming back and having an idea of how the team plays and what kind of weaknesses.
Thank you for keeping Sliggy from going back to coaching. Honestly, dude, you're not wrong though. That's the thing. You guys are pricing me out.
Or you go home.
VNT Doran, thank you so much. Appreciate the 15 months. Appreciate the prime. Thank you very much.
For both teams, for all players involved, and it's really going to
come down to dig
deep and stay on course. And stay focused and keep their game
Dude,
high,
another one as well.
High, and really lock in when it counts, because this is when
Shower Natty, thank you so much, bro. Appreciate you doing that. Thank you for the gifted cross as well.
Where our match is going to be ending up for today. It's time for our map picks
from all of us. I appreciate you doing that, man. Again, Symmetry, massive shout out, dude. Did I see the news about the maps? Yeah, I'm pumped about that. We get rid of Icebox. That's a big win. We get rid of Lotus. I'm okay with that. We get Sunset. Nope. We get Split. We get Pearl. I'm in though. Pearl got the change that made it good. Dude, give me a 3rd map here. I'm always in for a Haven. Sunset, Ascent, Haven.
We never got there because it was 2-0, which is really interesting. I mean, this team were banning Ascent also pretty consistently. You can see now how the map pools changed. They just haven't got there.
Don't like Pearl. See, I don't think we got long enough without the Pearl changes on B.
Serviceable on bind in general, but they really want
Haven, dude. Haven's just the best map, man.
From TSM. Also,
it's the best map to watch.
But I think that we've seen both MxS bans used to target TSM here.
Across, I think I said you, but I'm saying it again just in case. Thank you for the 15 months.
They are allowing this to be floated, which means they've, presumably been working on this map, which we've not seen from them for a while. They were banning it up until they had to.
EMEA Ascension. So I'm doing EMEA Ascension tomorrow.
Yeah, that's something
I
I've noticed
might not be
recently
here
is
for the
TSM,
final of this. We'll see.
Haven. We've been waiting to see it
I'm
happen.
going to do the
It's obviously
EMEA
something they've
final
been cooking
tomorrow.
really
The
hard. I really enjoy Corey
final
and Lorena
play-ins
and how they've been playing it. So, you know, it's something that
tomorrow is
I think
kind of
swing
for seeding,
the
so it's
series in their
not
favor in terms of
as
the bans. It really seems like TSM
not
kind of
as
came out on top
important.
with the bans, despite the fact that MxS
Remove Ascent, bring in
banned
Fracture,
out the
dude.
bind from
Ascent's
him.
just
I think that's
surviving
something
everything.
that, MxS lost 13-7
That's the mad thing
last
about it.
matchup
Ascent is
against
just
against TSM, and I think they just
thinking
decided, you
shots.
know what, we're just going to ban it out from them and take our chances on another map. So this is a good maps for both teams.
They said they're not going to change too much though.
TSM's favor here.
Yeah, I mean,
get rid of Ascent would be lost in ranks.
It's kind of true about Sunset from TSM, especially, right? They're doing an excellent job on the attack.
I think that is the big
like
factor. It's just like,
I mean, they were 10 and
it's
4,
just
the pistol in the second half, and then it got
just the
messy.
pure
But one thing they're doing really well
factor.
is
It's just a
hitting
banging
that
ranked
side elbow extremely hard. They are fault lining at the start of the round, and Sim is so fast. He's able to follow up on these fault line connections, and the fault line positioning from Poise, by the way, has been varied. They've been
I need a haircut. My hair's out of control. It's getting too long.
Oxygen.
And Mortel as well. Thank you so much
really
for the 14 months. Appreciate the prime.
Anteing that particular opponent, because Sim was like
the 5 hit sight. I mean, sometimes you have a lurker. Sometimes there's a 4-1.
Looking out for here. MxS are a more meticulous team. They play a little bit
safer. We spice it up with a 4-1. Honestly, I'm just happy that Icebox is gone. Like we're gonna get Icebox gone. That's cool. That's a big one.
That part of the map. But then you have to hope that MxS are very solid on these flood retakes.
See, that comes into my mind, Symmetry. That's where I'm just like, I should probably just be making the most of it.
Really getting repeats. This is going to be a brand new fresh series between these two teams. But getting a little bit more into the numbers, looking at kind of the map pool comparison with how these maps are win percentage-wise.
Still seeing people saying, and thank you for the gifted as well. We love that. Thank you so much.
Numbers here look kind of...
Never cut my hair ever again. Okay.
I'm kind of still eyeing up that Ascent because
it's
like an
absolute mob.
That's kind of... I mean, team's got to have a strong Ascent, and that one's kind of not been looking so great for Split 2.
Yeah, and
oh, Beanie, don't even ask me, dude. You know, there's a lot of complaining from my end. I didn't go down easy.
Ways to approach the map and approach the build of your composition. So, you know, it's not like teams are.
We'll do that again with Fracture Bacon, to be honest.
A lot of VODs and POVs.
Like when Fracture comes back, we'll be like, well,
to not be able to bring that map up is definitely
could be in for this map getting out of here. Juicius, thank you so much for the 17 months. Thank you.
Valorant. It's definitely
I appreciate that. Thank you for the
2-1, right? I think 2-0 is nice.
I was Def's stream last night.
You're going to be
or is Def here?
But I think from the coaching and the preparation standpoint,
Breamy 137 with the tier 1. Thank you so much for the 3 months. Thank you for that.
So I think that's something where TSM have set themselves up really nicely to do that here in this series.
Yeah, I agree. A lot hinges on Haven.
He leaked his IP. He did not leak his IP.
It's going to be about how TSM's composition.
Don't tell me he leaked his IP on his first stream. That's wild.
Composition from MxS on Ascent, which is very, very powerful right now. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Symmetry, we can make that happen.
A lot hinges, I think.
We can make that happen. Maybe not for champs, but maybe like an Ascension game or something.
Select, of course, do have to be thanking our sponsor, Blacklight. Understand the importance of high quality equipment, desk, chairs. Make sure gamers can perform at peak performance all times.
Dude, that reminds me of the old days, man. The old days when I used to tune into like Smooya's stream and he was showing like his bank card. Bro, I remember back-to-back days, Smooya showed his bank card, like legit up to the camera, showed his bank card. And then I remember him going on Google Maps and showing exactly where his house was. And I'm just there like... How have you survived this long?
It's new, right? So normally Marta is actually placed Rays on this map, and he's
guys are mentalist, man.
He's very, very
wild,
good.
dude. His first streams were one of the most wild things I've ever seen.
Marta is at least +6 first kill, first death against Dad. He was 10-2 first kill, first death.
Honestly, Bacon, that would have worked.
So they have the Neon here, but unlike TSM, they don't have the breach to pair it up with, right? The trap play potential that the fault line gives you. So I'm curious to see how they leverage it.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was a beast on this map yesterday, to be fair to him.
Series reminder, it's best of 3, but you want to get off on the right foot. This is Ascension on the line. Can TSM show up yet again, or how's it going to happen? Let's find out. Let's head over to Vans and Lemon. Let's get this started.
Oh, there'd be no pressure, Symmetry.
The double neon. I am so ready for this. And is Mata ready for this? Because we've only seen him run run this once on Haven and nothing ever since.
If anything, I don't know if the fans are ready for this, because this is going to be the matchup between these two teams to see who's going to be
how familiar am I of NA challenges? Not that familiar. I mean, I know like the players from the past like 3 years of watching, but in terms of like how up to date am I, pretty out of the loop, to be honest. Obviously, yeah, I've tuned into yesterday, and I've been looking at some results. Okay, so Sim,
an organizational perspective for MxS,
get in the raid
they
boss.
hope that they made the right decisions here by leaving Sim in a proto and keeping Fly and Brock.
We are going for the ag. Oh, this could be a little bit mental. 8-person duel, or we just lay retake
to Mexico. This is going to be a very fun one though, because now you're coming out with all stops. You talked about this Neon versus Neon, but the thing is the Flyer staying as a KO instead of playing a breach like Poise has. So you're going to have to see what the chemistry is going to look like as we have pressure going in towards an A-side push very quick.
Yeah, whoever made the right choice about their roster.
Oh, they definitely went aggro A.
And we heard TSM in the interview.
Yeah, waiting for a reaction over towards middle and had a higher, lower setup. It's pretty cool. You obviously funnel them into this area. Majority of the time, they're gonna just go peek this.
And then you could see a Dizzy from 7 maybe being at the ready, but
it's worked out a pretty nice pistol in the end.
As TSM decide to abandon ship.
Yeah, already losing Poise in the first place, it's going to be a little bit harder to try to set up Sim to take a little bit of map control.
What's my favorite duo of initiators? I think Chaos Silver, but it's not like the breach. It's not like the breach Silver isn't bad or like a Gecko Petra isn't bad. I just think that everything you need, Chaos Silver is the one.
You can kind of see here that TSM's kind of probing this B side.
Wingman helps a lot on this map, to be honest.
Yesterday, to get some openings here so that the rest could follow behind. But if not, this might be a pullback once again.
Like this is probably the comp I would use on this map.
And the defense is just going to play out of vision.
I'll be open to this being like a Sage instead.
The trips are placed high, so it's going to be something that Sim has to deal with, and the Wingman doesn't get a free plant. TSM thought they had a
way
free
that guy back his sights alive as well. This is a solid pistol, man. Really was.
It's just GMD left, but still a pistol round for MxS after the desk talked about how TSM were the best pistol team in playoffs.
And now you can see the storyline as well. As
I don't think so.
Just to touch upon that.
I haven't really spoken to chat. I think he's doing it with like summon stuff, right?
Going for them. But the thing is that you have to keep in mind as well is that the anti-eco win rate percentage for MxS is 100%. So this is going to be very important going into an MR12, going to 1st to 13, because you could almost guarantee like a 2-rounder, maybe even a 3-rounder, because MxS has also been very good.
Well, they do not want to get ecoed on this one. Everyone buying up.
They want to add this pressure once again towards the main.
We'll keep an eye on any kills here.
And realizing that it's open. Look at how the fast rotate is coming in from MxS. They're going to take the mid control. They're going to play passive towards B, but they just want to make sure that they shut down any potential lurks at the very beginning and really just keep TSM at bay.
Wait, hold up, because now they can actually pick up a gun. This has so much potential.
TSM take over the site. Also are aware that just because they don't see MxS doesn't mean they're not there. TSM landing shots, the smoke's clear. Proto loses mid control. That means market is open. TSM though already played.
Yeah, so they kind of did the 5-person buy to not get ecoed. But then obviously we didn't have anyone to like cover the gun that they picked up. Also loved how together they were on this side. Back side.
Going in for MxS,
this is legit,
and are about
man.
to lose here the second round on the eco from TSM.
Them guys really good on this
Rock
map.
He's trying to even up those numbers. Time is running out, and Moist are not wanting to shoot through the smoke, and it's a flash. It's Sim.
It'd still be okay.
Punished, and we needed to see a team.
Don't have the best spam forever.
Because he was relentless yesterday, and time will run out.
I mean, this was really cool, man.
But like you said, TSM with the anti-eco.
And that has been the story of even the games of TSM yesterday versus OXG. The chaos that went through.
Shout out to Sim on this one. He did it insanely well.
Thrifties after thrifties on both ends. When it comes
maybe
down
a little bit
to
committed with the rifle.
The last time on the pistol round that we just saw in this matchup right here, they didn't have Poise's utility to follow behind for Sim to be able to get that opener. But potentially here on the replay, you see that Sim's adding a second kill.
It is a bit of a misstep on defense here, really, considering you're up against Nico. You've also got to shout out Sim for just being
to really flood into
completely
the
fearless.
So TSM so far, they
we'll keep an eye on pistol because we'll probably get lost at 1 point considering that
just
round.
the way that they did from yesterday. And now you see the
dude, what a time to get eco'd as well. Oh my goodness. 6 HP.
Towards B main, and it's
he probably froze the gun over.
Look at the HP of Vic. He's gonna have to leave that behind for somebody else.
And this is a different defense setup from MxS to just put up a smoke right away. They can't lean on the Cypher trip and hoping to delay TSM. They've dealt with the Cypher util quite swiftly, and once TSM are set up, Shopify don't know how to dislodge them when they play from B main. So I don't blame TSM for trying out this B site once again, but maybe it's too obvious. And now
wait, timing. Oh man, I was gonna say the timing might be really good for that.
Gonna try and cross from mid. They'll go 1-for-1.
What a lunatic. Yeah, I guess the comms came out that someone dinked him and he re-peeked with the classic, got an extra kill. This is insanely good timing. Vic, 6 HP.
Value given there, the Guardian left behind from Vic onto Brock
no
to get that
idea
pick.
they're
Sim's
walking
trying to
down.
re-clear towards middle, does catch Vic. So Vic will not be able to upgrade into a weapon, so they still only have the Guardian to fight with. And on top of that, I mean, a Sheriff is good enough too for Otoshima. This at least does
why do all the
damage
ecos
here
look
against
so
TSM,
doable?
But finally we'll have an open site for MxS, or sorry, for TSM to be able to plant.
Pretty safe plan for TSM, just kind of bringing Shopify out to mid and just out-dueling them with the better rifles.
Rock wins these.
Now that TSM got to actually brawl them.
I mean, sure. It's
kind of was back and forth, but
brutal plant, double B main.
It's a 2v1.
As a recon,
Rock on
maybe.
His way. Recon 2 shock bolts.
Scanning ahead.
Market. Be able to scan the right side. And you're expecting TSM to play at B main like they have before. Shock bolts are trying to flush out Sim from this position. The spike forces out of paranoia. Brock got the attention.
Whoa. Oh my god, I can't believe they both double swing right for this.
For Sim to give the round to TSM.
Big rounds once again coming out from Sim, but I like the
It's
protocols.
actually got way closer than I thought. The way they played it is not how I would have wanted it to be played. They actually had a doable chance to make this 1v2.
Guarantee the trade in the end. But we just talked about the amount of damage that was given here from MxS's side. This basically
Tony, I'm doing good.
nullifies
How you doing?
everything, and we go into an important swing run right here. Look at the economy remaining after the buy from both MxS and TSM. This is going to potentially cause a lower buy into the next, and then one of the teams to amass 2 rounds in a row. So a lot of value going
finally
into
a big buy round.
So you have to be very meticulous on what information
with everything that's going on, we don't really get the bonus.
out.
We just have everyone not being able to buy.
So they're still able to get
we've got one person that can buy next. That's it. That's the easiest way to do it. 9 people can't buy.
With those 2 smokes,
3-person wall contact.
Block off mid.
Did this camera not see this guy, right? It does see this guy.
Are making noise, and MxS are trying to cut them off. They have a crossfire set up top of mid here.
Oh my god, bro, this kid is pretty strong. Oh boy.
Sim is on fire once again. Hunter's Fury, now that Brock has information that TSM are mid, to just pressure them back and go back to their default defensive setup.
That's a little bit NC there from
I
Mata.
like this I like this camera. It's like the Heretics one, just like way more committed. Is it on top of this?
Of the Owl drone, and
you can't actually see into B. You can just get mid info.
There's 3 players waiting there.
That's pretty cool. N277 with the prime. Thank you so much for the 10 months. Thank you. I feel like, dude, I feel like Heretics are going to use this.
To really take a site, unless these anchors could do
this would fix a lot of how Vitality was beating Heretics. Had a more passive camera like this.
Brock is detained on the other side of smoke, and who's on the hunt? It's Sim, just hoping to spray and pray through the smoke.
Site, good plant down. No mollies though. It's actually doable. We take.
The spike is planted, and TSM, they can just lay back. They're hoping to maybe catch MxS peek into the site. TSM has had just pre-aim advantage.
And keep an eye on the double around the world.
And that's a huge kill, because that's all of the utility of Flyer down, and he still had Molly 2 flashes, and that was
he's going to go up to the trip. Him going to the trip right now and creating a lot of pressure is just so good. Yeah, it just means that they can't focus on the actual spike itself.
After this post plant.
It's an opportunity for GMD. Maybe discovered by the recon, and no, just gets overwhelmed by the 2. And TSM,
TSM played this round really well. Sim is doing so much work.
Blood, sweat, and tears in these 1v1s.
Kind of outrageous at the moment.
This was a big round, you said, for the economy, Vans, and We'll see how much momentum this can carry.
Why they bring in
TSM.
split
Yeah,
back?
GMD has been
It's just one of the fan favorites. I feel like.
and you were hoping
It
for
feels
him to
like
get one or
Split
two
Haven
more
and
here,
Ascent
really
is like
great
the
econ
three
coming down from
staple in
MxS.
this game.
But both of those weapons stays alive here. Brock and Otoshima keep it
Dude, I'm
into
so
this
fine
round.
with it.
So there's a
Honestly, as
potential
long as
mixed
Breeze
buy
and
going
Icebox
through with it.
never
They wanna
come back,
force it through to make sure that
I think
the
I'm
economy
okay with
stays the
any
same.
map
So
pool.
there's still some decent firepower coming out from MxS. You have 2 Guardians and a Bulldog. You're still kind of far away from ults though, and you don't really have positionings or an opportunity to really take orb control at the very beginning here, except for the A side if they knife this again. But this time, Flat decides to hold on to it.
I wonder if GMD knows they have a stronger buy and you get your ult, would you want to go for a teleport play at the back of spawn? It's wondering what kind of tone
tell you what is cool,
TSM
though.
want to set out the gates.
That
They're a team
teams
that get
actually
confidence over time
can
into
plan
winning
ahead.
successful rounds, so the
Because this
usual
patch
one-way smoke
is
there placed by
like
Vic.
what,
TSM
late
like to wait it
October?
out, but with that, it was a more
So
delayed
that's what's
knife
going to
this
be
time
going
from
live
Fire,
in
maybe one that
January
he got
when the
back. And that's
when the
great info to
tournaments
know
start.
that TSM are all posted up
like
here.
teams
That's right. They got
actually know
information
what's
on
happening
3
next
players,
year,
and TSM
apart
are
from like
going back
maybe
to that
agent
make control
changes.
to
That's
3
pretty
players
cool.
up on tiles.
Might
I
actually
found
see
it
some
very
like way
interesting, though,
more
that they didn't
drilled
try to
stuff at the
punish
beginning of the
into
game.
A orb when the knife wasn't thrown in the very beginning, because you kind of already had poise there with the fault line and kind of ready to go. But TSM just wants to
Yeah,
let
this is the
MxS
first time they're
work the
actually going
map,
to find
take
out the
orbs,
cameras
and now
here.
go
And
for a
that's
lead
gonna
in towards
that's
the
gonna
B
help
site,
them
where
even
once
more.
again, MxS are going to play the
Hear
retake.
that.
MxS keep leaving mid
Camera's
open.
still up.
TSM have options. They close the
This is a
door
cool
behind
reaction
them,
over
but
towards
they won't
middle.
have GMD for any paranoia plays. 2 flashes from Poise. They'll use one. And MxS now are scrapping through the top of sight. And Brock continues to be the person to carry MxS. He's in the double digits already, only after 4
Dude,
rounds.
look at
And
that
this could
movement, man.
propel MxS
Okay,
to
at the
another
moment,
one.
like
3K
these
for
two
Brock.
are
Yeah, it
having
turns out to be a
so
good
much
play in the end.
impact.
I thought they were going to have to play the retake, but until they got that pick down towards middle, that
10
enabled
and
Brock
2,
to just stay tucked
8 and
into his
3.
corner in the back of the B side.
Win
and
into
just hold
Ascension,
that
yeah.
crossfire
Winner
because
goes through
everybody's
to
kind of focused
Ascension.
on, oh,
Loser,
is
the
Mata
year's
gonna
done.
break the door? Is he going to come from behind? Brock gets 2 surprising kills out on the side of the staircase.
We're
and
saying
really
that
threw TSM
it's
for
not
a
like
loop.
as
So
bad
great
as last
opportunity
year,
there, a
right?
great
There's something
hold
there's some
coming
kind
in
of
towards the end from MxS, and they stay alive
some
in
kind
this
of
match.
stuff
They're able to
happening
upgrade
October,
weapons on
right,
top
I
of that
think.
with the amount of kills
Or
that they've
after
gotten,
October.
so they don't have to spend too much into this round and are back into a healthy buy.
There's a split free.
TSM's still
Yeah,
in
but what does
another
it even
healthy buy,
matter?
though, this time around, and they'd keep working towards this A side at the very beginning.
Okay.
Now, I wonder if it's just like
Educate
doing it
me.
on purpose.
What the
if
hell
they're-
does
if they
stage
wanna
3 or
get hit
split
by this
3 even
knife,
mean?
So they could really try to spread the defensive thin right after.
TSM,
There we
they try
go.
to retaliate
If you
against that
failed
knife.
to get to
Again,
Ascension,
finally that orb
what on
being
earth are you
tapped by
playing
Mata.
for?
He's gotten it free so many times.
Vibes.
You falling them great chance for Poise and friends of TSM to get a punish, but they have been pinged. MxS no. TSM haven't taken full control of Elbow yet. And TSM lost a lot of bodies to get that orb, but it does give Sim overdrive. And I wonder, could this be a way that TSM take back control of the site now that the neural death pings are gone there from
Ooh,
Otoshima?
imagine he committed
TSM
more.
make it look like they're pivoting out, and Mata confirms A site is still a hit.
And he's alone towards the site, and potentially Brock might be walking out solo too towards shops. It's a jump spot, so
Great
might
jump
play it safe
spot.
this time around.
He didn't
And
see
then
the third
finally
guy
he's gonna
though.
meet up towards the back of the site, so they still have an opportunity to set up a crossfire towards the back of the site here for MxS.
Fault line, 2 flashes from Poised. Knowing there's 2 on the site, at least. And Mata just holds the
Yeah,
angle
lovely
and
little
waits for
1-2, bro.
TSM to go
This
in,
guy
and it's
is
another dance
farming.
for MxS.
What's he on?
And that's the thing, when
13-2.
TSM is playing under the chaos, they thrive through it. But once things and the actions slow
13-2.
down, and you kind of have to like work the map.
Let's get another
meticulously,
Sovo.
They kind of get caught in these various moments where they get shot on the side, one player falls, there's no opportunities for a trade, and they need to fix that a little bit better, which is potentially why Faded is calling this timeout at the very beginning, very early in this first map. But if anything, though, the first initiation, the first engagement that came out from TSM was really good. That was exactly what we're trying to look for on that
Stage
previous
3
round,
is
where
the first stage
door
of
gets
2025
tapped, the fault line with
challenges.
the Dizzy comes across. They trap play
Really, we call
towards
it
the
stage
A-side
1 then.
control and are able to get some perfect trades at the very beginning. But Vic did a great job counteracting with the paranoia and just slowed things down here. And again, MxS thriving into these slower type of rounds when the tempo finally stops. So we'll have to see here if TSM can pull back now after the timeout. out if they could be a little bit more organized in terms of that synergy when they're trying to scale the map without by playing contact.
We should not try and use logic here.
TSM are trying to assess the different plans that MxS have had, where they've gone from just knifing at the beginning of the round to delaying it, shifting their smokes from Vig from the mid map to over at the A site or the B site, and TSM are coming up with punishing power. We've pointed out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll look into it so I actually know what the hell's going on.
He has a very good duelist in Sim, one that's much more comfortable.
Definitely not a part of 2025, other than having promotion relegation from Premier.
He's more likely to get picks than not these days.
Yeah, so it just sounds like a glorified off-season tournament with a bit of money.
And when it's not being checked, you know it's going to be a guaranteed kill in the hands of somebody like Mata.
At least there's something to play for.
You're seeing the knife come back very early for MxS, back into a check, knowing that TSM is on a lower buy, or they're going to try to stack together
down
and
to an
just
eco
somewhere.
on the one hero stinger.
Towards this A side, they're going to think about this B side split.
Bro, this guy keeps playing so committed against ecos here.
About, but MxS, they just surround.
I wonder if he plays here all the time, and TSM are actually just like going for him on the ecos or not. That's the second eco round where we've seen where they've had like a plan where this guy's just isolated on his own. Like he did really good, but it's still pretty risky.
Still has support from the other end as well. So no shenanigans this time around where they had value from the fault line walking through the smokes to get the pick off and then first blood here for TSM. So finally, no shenanigans coming through with the lower buy, and MxS is able to hold that off. They're starting to pull away here with the defensive side now that their economy's finally in check. And yeah, TSM needs to figure
the
out
money's
now
great.
what they
3
can
in
do
a row.
here since this timeout. I think the timeout call by
another
Faded
eco coming in for TSM if they lose this. Official. Gonna have to see it
in this gun round, especially now they have a Thrash available too.
Good
Starts
knife.
once again on a different type of mid control.
Full info over towards
Only
A.
one towards the tiles, 3 down towards the bottom.
Looks
mid.
like he's just ready to reactively use his ult.
TSM just repeating what they did last round. Trying to get information where this Cypher is. Hunter's Fury from Brock gets a bang.
Hey, this guy's a beast though, man. He actually cancelled, nearly got another one. A good idea of the timing of the neon. Most people are getting caught off by that.
Will be stopped in his tracks on the flank.
Shot.
Swing out of cage.
What an absolute nightmare. Yeah, he had to try to stay calm there and just accept it. I think he could have spammed it, but.
In the post plant. TSM, how do they assess this, knowing they've cleared the top of sight? They have no idea where this retake is coming from. And it's big, getting a lucky timing.
Lovely timing then. Yeah, TSM are in a rough spot at the moment. They had such a good start with that eco,
but unfortunately just looked into the different angles where Vic found a perfect timing coming through. Oh, nonetheless, though, you mentioned it, the question mark into how GMD just kind of let himself get caught there. I felt like it was just a sacrificial lamb.
Cows are cool. Thank you for saying that.
Run up here with the fast
thank you.
lane.
Yeah, they've been doing good work.
And they could pinch back within the site. Did a great job.
I like all the content that Bacon's in.
But another one of those moments
that's when you know it's banging content, when Bacon's in it.
TSM is trying to find a better positioning here and don't know where their opponents are, and they get caught. Shot on the side once again. At least they get a plant that builds the economy.
Sentinel's not in top 2.
You can have a hero rifle coming in for Sim.
That should be good. I cast so many teams.
Right.
You should be happy with that.
Sim with a rifle, you know he can get some damage done here.
With the timing on the knife, and it meets the fault line halfway, and this orb being fought for. And TSM just kept advancing through the one and thought they could scrap their way.
Oh my god, dude, how was that a reactive stun from Sim?
Better shots on the Sheriff. I can't believe it. Now a 3 versus 1. TSM will get a round back.
Dude, this guy's neon is so good.
Pretty much a slight tackle coming out from Sim to get the first and last kill of the round. But the way
this
that
is
they just dance
such a raid boss off, it's not even funny.
It
feels like these two are taking turns and having the most impact possible.
In terms of how they wanted to swing off their own utility to fight back against TSM. And that was a lower buy that came in favor of the attack side. And we're going back to those shenanigans through the chaos. TSM, they want MxS to play into them, into this style, and it works perfectly into how TSM wants to approach it. And this time around, though, they want to change the tempo. Once
Going
again,
back, that's a lot of people getting hit by this.
Control.
Oh, man.
Beautiful isolation
Dude,
on that.
is this guy involved in every single fast
TSM
kill?
are getting really good at adapting, reading what MxS's setups are, and countering in the next. This really is a chess match, but as as the dust settles.
You're a lunatic.
And is still assessing that TSM want the A side bad. They commit a rolling thunder.
How's everyone getting one kill in these positions?
Thought the aftershock could
It's such a doable 1v2. Oh.
But Rock gets the last slap. Otoshima is last.
Everyone's crazy.
TSM finally equalize.
Everyone's so crazy. This wasn't too bad because obviously he's trying to take a timing on a 1v2, make sure it's a 1v1. Yes, and not go for the spike there. Actually, maybe not. I guess I don't know where he is. Robbins, 2006. Thank you so much for the prime, dude. Thank you for the 6 months.
But right now for TSM, you're starting to see it.
Said it earlier, but he genuinely is. He was involved in 51% of the first engagements against Oxygen. Half of them. Yeah, that's insane,
deny the plant towards A. But a 5-5 scoreline is looking pretty good. Back and forth is the way how we want to start.
Like the whole thing is set around him getting the first kill every single time.
Second North American Challengers team.
Like, is he not just everything about this team then?
Knife though gets
that's how many first engagements he's getting into.
That's gonna spot 7, so there's no util to scout.
I mean, at least they're playing well around their star player.
TSM are still looking to force a rotate out of mid.
MxS are gonna push up on this because they only got the 1-man ping. Do they think it's just a lurk?
This is gonna be one of the first times he's not involved in the first duel, and it's just because like MxS are just going aggro.
Doesn't want to be over eager. Just makes some noise and decides to leave. See if TSM would want to rotate back, but with that smoke at the top of mid from TSM, they got mid control from that where they usually like to go.
This is looking good for TSM though, right?
Now the top of the site,
or
top
what
of
I
mid
speak, man.
is open.
Look at that.
From MxS.
That's crazy.
Lucky timing.
Yeah, like I said, with confidence.
Out of TSM, as Sim activates the
this
overdrive.
kid's sick, man. This kid's so good.
TSM, it's the race to A, or really any site.
That's such a beautiful mid-round call coming out from Poise, knowing that there's a double push coming out from the A side when Yamada went down, and then the Alotron came from so far back on the top middle. They knew mid side was weak, so they take advantage of that. They open it up, and now they have a stronghold on the beast on the A side to take for TSM on the pulse fight. Only one player anchoring across. It's Vic. He's gonna have to.
He looks so comfy
point,
on Neon.
Weapons for the last round. You're playing a 4 versus 2 here.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah. Vic was trying to see what he could do, but
this guy replaced him, right?
Would be nice for Otoshima, and that's just what they'll do. TSM, I mean, they had so many options.
Okay.
Once they just
I see what you're saying. Revenge match for him.
Through MxS, extending their defense out. And mid control
he's really got a point to prove. He's got that get kicked buff at the moment.
That was interesting on how TSM
there's been so many of them
though, is that they didn't smoke towards the left side, knowing that Alotron was coming out from from Brock.
Who else has got the just kick buff?
B side of Boba. So
Anyone
that
else?
said, they wanted to walk up, play the content, and
I think that's it for this year.
Fell flat because there was a timing there. MxS caught TSM and got first blood on the fight onto GMD. But thankfully,
I'll put
TSM
safe in
had
that.
more numbers.
I'll put
they
safe
played a
in
3
that.
versus 2 on the top of that site.
Yeah, I'm in for
so
that.
they could pinch back into shop into A main and really take down MxS for a loop here on this A side defense. So again, great mid-round calling coming out from Poise so far. And now you're seeing Sim op for the first time in this series. And the first time pulling on an op is on the attack side in round number 12.
Did he get a buff from it though?
He's going to try to lean this towards the B side.
I'm thinking buffs. I'm not sure he got a buff from it. I mean, maybe he did get a buff from it. He was playing pretty good.
Always places the camp on the top, so you can kind of just walk up and watch the angle on that side.
Man, you thought TSM always liked to play around that corner.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, he was just in a good pause for this one. Just a W peak.
TSM
as in like W key, not
to lean on this op.
Or like
and what
W
it could
chat
see, which not really much with all the cages and the smokes. If TSM step in, they may be isolated from each other. 7 was caught, and the rest of TSM are back. On top of this box, though, GMD gets some information. Great shot out of Sim. Now with that neural theft advantage.
How the hell are they meant to win this one?
MxS, no, they could push them, but Poise just holds his position, takes 2 down with
Bro, I can't even see him. Omen Flash is covering him.
Then null command coming out there from Flya.
Okay, what a sick half. Like these two, man, deserve another shout out. 17 to 7, 16 to 8. The raid boss off was insane on this one.
There's something in the water of how TSM is
Sim had an
since yesterday, from how Mada's getting killed through smokes inside the smokes. Sim's getting kills through smokes against Oxygen, and this time gets an op kill into the B main, and then allows here TSM to close out the half 7-5 when it was a rough start at the very beginning with them losing the pistol, but they were able to fight back right after to get the eco. And now MxS, They're going to have to try to fight back here. Mana coming out for the first time as this Neon.
How many first bloods is this guy on? I don't know.
Value so far on the defensive side, but he
in my head I know it's 4, I think, but it must be way more than that.
Trying to lean towards a heavy B hit and a late lurk on mid from Otoshima.
Both these teams have been so streaky. TSM started with the lead, then back to MxS, now back to TSM, but only by 2. This pistol round is important for MxS. To kind of gain some rounds.
Pick the right
back,
side on this one.
Lane. Mata takes full side control.
You gotta remember, this is a 1-0 in pistols.
Regroup for the retake.
Look how pushed you are towards Boba. One-way splits too, so that Mata could spot the legs. This is beautifully done here by MxS to start to hold off the pulse
plant. Sim's doing his job though. Gotta get through the one way. They need to make sure that they go through all of this. There isn't enough time to just wait for this one way when you know how strong this B main hold is.
Now they just play through B main, and they have a trip set up in the smoke if TSM wanted to push through it, but MxS are just spraying through the smoke and getting killed. It's just fantastic.
Hey, double pistol.
With yet another pistol win.
And TSM thought that somehow MxS is going to lean very heavily towards this A side at the very beginning. Wanted to play the retake towards B. But I love the scaling that you had coming out here from MxS. They actually had a very late paranoia that just got up to the door just enough here so that Otoshima could start walking into the news. And once they realized the full site,
these champs are the last time we'll see it.
B side is open, but news is also open.
October.
Adding that extra smoke as a one-way. Usually teams just go for a standard.
Will the changes come in for game changes or after game changes? I guess after.
One way to spot legs is actually quite
we've actually got 2 months.
And it shows how much now MxS has been prepping on this map
3 months
against TSM today, who surprisingly decided to pick this map when they haven't had the best results so far. But I guess because of the results against OXG yesterday,
let's see if
they felt confident going into this game today.
Keep this one.
Look how deep these trips are.
This one,
for a proto, including
Ascension 2, yeah, but Ascension's before game changes, right? Ascension's September.
The rotates are being pulled now that MxS are knocking on the door, and
but we'll see it in Ascension and
free site for MxS
game changes.
to plant in. This TSM get their smoke set up and hope to retake quite soon. They still have a paranoia from GMD. Go, go, go! Even a relay bolt from Sim. MxS can have the better rifles, so they're trying to play long range where they can drive.
We start counting down the days now.
At this point, you're just trying to do some damage if you can here for TSM. Dive to spike, get some orbs up. I mean, this is a full classic round for TSM. MxS should be looking pretty good. Bring the percentage back up.
3 more months, chat.
There's
3 more months, so we gotta wait.
We're in a good spot. Let's think about the next round here, but at least from a proto of how he held up towards Boba at the very beginning, I think he heard the flash being popped on the top at the same time as the recon. So for him playing all the way back towards pillar or to play in the back of the staircase could be very difficult for him to try to break a recon dart going into that one when he's going to eat a flash.
8 comes in 3 months. Yeah.
So he's probably going to have to reassess how he wants to play his
Someone can do the maths, but it's around October.
So far has been popping
20th.
very quickly and aggressively towards his B-side hits.
So first gun round for TSM, and the fact they weren't able to deny any of these half buys from MxS.
All they're doing, Tita, is trying to make sure that the teams that are like rebuilding now have an idea of what is going to be happening next year. So it's just the whole transparency of just trying to make sure that instead of this year they go, well, you know that everything starts in 2 weeks. Well, Sky's getting nerfed. They're trying to make sure like everyone knows ahead of time.
Yeah. He's just probably going to try to
you can work out what your power comps are in pro teams. Don't have to worry about Lotus, etc.
Now relay bolt almost didn't check.
It's cool. It's what, dude. It's great for teams.
And MxS just hold it
and it means that we actually get to see like the best team at the beginning of the year instead of just who adapted the fastest in 2 months. Bro, how did they make this look so easy? The TSM needs to call a timeout, right? And sort out B main.
Usually you're playing against a Raze. They can't tempo as quickly going in the back of Boba as a Neon could. Yeah. And it felt like it kind of caught Poise off guard, and it was miscommunication on Poise trying to watch
3 back-to-back B site
hits when their Proto's inside the camera. Because Poise gets a Proto gets picked off. Poise is trying to go for a trade, and already everybody's skills be hacked from behind from MxS, and it just drops everybody down here from TSM. So they now have to try to figure out how Mata is really pathing around this B site and go against that. there's that one piece, and also the KO knife that's being thrown by Fly in these post plans.
Nothing that springs
really
to mind,
doesn't allow
Teats.
for TSM to flood back
People,
with util.
you might want to ask Saint.
Looking back
Saint's
at it,
been watching more games than me. He's been saying that I need to watch some of these games.
The utility,
There was
the
a
idea behind it and how they want to approach the site.
some of the Oxygen games have been good.
Quite nice here for MxS.
FPX apparently have a pretty cool
It's good to point
abyss.
out that now, after this timeout, TSM don't have any more. MxS haven't
Yeah,
used a
MAT
single timeout.
Oxygen might make
That's
a
just,
good.
I guess how
good
confident
one.
or how comfortable they are that they can just take this round by round.
Yeah.
Adapt to
Liquid
what TSM
Artist.
are throwing at
I
them.
saw
MxS, I think they have some of the
Dude,
best initiators
where
and
you know the
challengers,
guy
so
that
this
put the
is their
leak?
playground
Where
on
on
offense.
earth?
It makes sense
Like,
too,
I normally
because
stay
this
quiet
is
with
a new
leaks,
comp
but where on
kinda that
earth
MxS
is
comes out
he
with,
getting
right?
his information? What
Even
kind of
though it's
team
just a
would be
neon versus a
rebuilding
raise,
right
it still
now?
changes the play
Like,
style
you would,
quite a
first
bit,
of all, tier
where
2
TSM
hasn't
has to
ended,
adjust
which
to
is
that on the
mental.
fly. So 2
Why, if they
timeouts,
had
calls
Nats
on the
IGL
fly,
and was trying out
and then
Nats IGL,
MxS,
would they try
they're
and
the ones that are
do
coming out with the bag of
Angel?
surprises, so they
Why
have-
would
they are in
Narrate look
control
at
of the driver's seat so
another
far.
EU team
Flash into elbow,
instead of an
Mata
American
racing in,
team?
right into a fault
Like,
line.
everything about that
Can't even
leak
see, but
is,
at
I
least you
would,
still have two
whoever
legs to
did the
stand
leak,
on.
I would just
TSM
block them
were
on
holding
Twitter.
corners
They're
at A
a
to
moron.
punish anything
Is
from
the
that range
is the
util
most
that
polite
five
way I
boys.
can
It
say
was
about
just
it.
a delay, so it forces MxS now to flood into mid.
The
where
the worst
TSM
leak I
holding
think I've
both the
ever seen
perimeter
has,
and
I don't know where it came from.
pulling
It has
rotates
literally
towards A.
no,
TSM were
it has
stacked
no
on that
common
side.
sense about
So
it,
a lot
first of
pressure
all,
on
and it has
Proto.
nothing
Within a
behind it.
one-and-done spot, he'll go 1-for-1. It's better than nothing, especially with the Sheriff. But MxS know they have a buy advantage with that, so a plan will ensue in a second. Now knowing that Dizzy got thrown for market, they'll keep their eyes peeled for that and even smoke it up.
Okay,
even
well,
better.
next round we're
And
gonna
you how
see.
Boris is all the way
Next
back
round we're
towards
gonna
middle,
see some
so
changes.
not having a
over
second
towards
flash to go with the Dizzy doesn't get too much value here, and it just kind of keeps CSM pinned towards news. Again, this is a lower
That guy has
value
no
trying to flood in
sources.
after,
Yeah, bro
but
just
you're not
wakes up and
chaining
just goes,
util
well,
to really take down your opponent.
this is what's
MxS should be in
happening.
a good spot here for the post plan.
Oh, MxS, they're just spraying through the smoke. Now the aftershock will force them out of cover. And Brock, I'm gonna need a PC check on that one. He is just hitting every shot through smokes. This has been kind of deja vu from TSM doing the exact same thing.
Okay,
And MxS get away with it.
let's check out the big
TSM
barrel.
has an opportunity once again off the timeout with the money that they have on how they want to try to fight this. Is it an op that's going to come out early? Has the economy gone high enough so that Sim could potentially get an op and fight back towards the B main control?
How's this
where
guy?
Mana has been doing so good with the rest
bro
of MxS to take control of that
perfectly
staircase
tapping
in
him
the
for a
very
smoke
beginning.
right here.
And I just saw here just before we got into
Okay.
the replays, it doesn't look
What
like
do we
it was
got?
enough. He
Focus
goes for a
over
rifle
towards
this
B.
time around,
This is
but there
the big
is
focus
at
right
least
now. What's the
utility
big
there.
change up?
The breach is finally
Gecko
moved up
over
from
here, we
Boys.
got Breach
They have
over here.
7 to try to help out as well with their
MxS
proto.
just
So
keep going
potentially
B,
they can
or
try to fault
they
line, try to
realizing
stall a little
that
bit more on the aggressive
change-up's
hits
gonna
from
go here?
MxS.
But all they're
Although,
doing is just
for
fighting a
MxS, it's
little bit
different.
heavy.
They're going for
Instead
a
of there being one
very
person
fast
who's
hit towards mid.
Wait, this is
The
a sick round.
shadows gonna be stuck
This is
from
actually a sick
Vic.
round. Ormon or
Mata says, I beat you there.
insta fast heaven with
Now,
wall,
make
so
their
it
way
blocks
through
vision here,
pinching.
so you still have
TSM
the
from
smoke.
both sides. It's Sim and GMD.
Wait, this was
pulling
sick.
it down
And
on
they-
opposite angles.
This whole game plan's been
GMD can't
incredible
hold it
though,
on
because they
his
made them
own.
think so
Sim
much
gets
about
shot in the
B,
back.
and
Mata's
then they know
taking
for the
over
big buy
this
rounds that they're
round,
going to be
and
fixing something over
MxS
towards
will
B,
get
so
a
most
point
likely
for
it's like
A,
numbers
and
at least, so there's
TSM
3 people that start here,
rotating on the opposite
and then they
side,
just
that
go
looks
for a
like they wanna
split
save
over
their guns.
towards
That
A
is
when they
such
know
good
there's
utility
2.
being used by
Bro, that-
MxS, although it
TSM
was
are getting-
very risky because you don't really know what
TSM
was
are getting owned.
going to be behind you.
Like, this is
behind
this is like
fast
the
lanes
most
on the top of
perfect
middle. And thankfully, because of
start
TSM
to
trying to
an
readjust
attack side
against
you
the
could ever have.
conditioning that MxS has been doing.
Like, this is one of those
consistently
times
towards
where a
his
game
B-side.
plan has
Middle
gone
was
like
weak,
beyond
so it was a perfect
perfect.
call towards the end. Nobody was
They go to
there,
weak
and you
B,
have 2 players pinching
then
from behind.
also with the weak B,
into
they're just
elbow,
making
and
sure that they're
Aldron
like
that comes
creating
out towards the
pressure,
front.
but then they
Those
still
last
are
2
falling
guys,
back on
Sim
the
and
heavy
GMD,
after plant
they
B.
can't go anywhere. They're trying
Then they
to
know
hold
once
their
the
last,
timeout
their
goes
final
in, they
stand,
don't
try to
really
get a
change
certain
too
piece
much
of kill, but
because
there's
it's
just
an
too much
eco.
utility
Then they
around.
wait for the big buy round that
Being
actually
utilized by
means that like
MxS
their
to really
money's in the
clutches
bin.
everybody out. And MxS
And they
are
do
in
this.
full control now
It's
of their attack
unreal
hack
right now.
as well of this map. And it definitely looks like there was some tape here on what they saw from TSM against OXG.
Yeah, you could even do
which
this
is
one at
why
the
you're
moment,
seeing this
Teats. Imagine they don't
slight
lose a
change
round
coming
on
through in the
attack.
comp, and basically really anti-stranding TSM at this point.
And while we were waiting for the spike to go off, TSM.
Dennis, thank you so much with the tier 2.
Just any kind of scratch into
Thank Thank you so much for that, Dennis.
Nice, because it's been a flawless offensive half for MxS.
Thank you, Sam, as well, bro.
5 in a row, even post timeout for TSM.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the 25 months. Here too, as well, dude. Appreciate that.
MxS are shooting bodies. They know they're the better team. That's why they're not taking timeouts.
Okay, so, now what?
The spike is going to be left behind.
If you're TSM right now, you're just feeling lost. Like, where are they going? They're going back to B. Are they going to keep going A? Recon, knife. Recon scans no one. Knife scans no one. They know for sure. It's a question mark over towards. I like this. Question mark over towards side. This is good. So super aggro over towards B. We're actually fighting it. Getting early info also meant that they could go fast behind if they lost like full map control.
MxS will have to do this without smokes or paranoia there from Vic, who's been such a pillar for MxS.
Honestly, Alec, very accurate.
Have the drone to check out the market. This is where TSM had been caught in the past. You just don't know what awaits you around this corner.
Losing Vic's tough too. No smokes for the execution and
yeah, they're gonna just go to walk out. The problem
flood
is as well, like normally they can
from
fall back on having the wall.
On the A site.
Wait, they're gonna Sova left?
Yeah, elbow control and TSM know it.
If you're
trying to play safe
I'm
behind
MxS
the box,
here, I'm
and
accepting that we probably lost this round.
Yeah,
And just try and do damage.
GMD, but Point swings instead of being patient.
Yeah, I like this though. It still feels a little bit risky that they're putting the ult into it. Like I would only have used this ult in case. Yeah, I think they messed up a little bit, honestly. Like in the 4v5 no smokes, I think you just try something instead of like trying a plan that invest your ult into it. It's better to just let them have this one, do a bit of damage, reset with the ults. They maybe missed like a trick here, but other than that, still not too bad.
And MxS still tried to go from some sort of a split towards the A side from both extremities, and they really got punished after the one way that was thrown by GMD. Really held everything
Raven,
back.
thank you so much, Raven, with the prime. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that.
So towards the end here for MxS, not having those smokes from Vic falling early into the round was really their demise here on getting a clean hit.
Yeah, that's solid. Flash hits, just give a little swing. They take a lot of map control afterwards, though.
Extending out of B defensively last round to finally catching Mata when he likes to dance around.
Viper's still good in pro play,
trying to get that orb, trying to really test those mechanics, like I said. MxS will have to do this without Neon to take this nice and slow.
They added the poise.
Oh, it's a slug? I mean, that's a snail,
to make
right?
sure they could stun a deeper line on the A side, so it wasn't only on Sim.
That's the thing, I don't really recognize. I'm not too familiar with the snails.
Still very, very good here for
Bird with the prime, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the A-mums.
Going into round number 19.
Not letting a Proto get the neural theft there is big. MxS.
Hey, knife's good though. Knife means that no one's over towards site. Recon as well clears everywhere else. They don't have to worry about site. With the 2 bits of util, they clear everywhere. Oh, this would be a devastating round for them to lose. We've got attack trip as well. This guy heard the trip, so should be able to go break it.
And the plan is
the very early Omen flash. I think he might have messed up. Probably need to save the Omen flash for the Omen flash. What is this? Back-to-back mess-ups for MxS?
Sim with the overdrive. Dancing around this box. Box caught out in the open with a spike. And
Guy's a beast still, though.
Hesitated for too long whether it's a plan or
didn't realize that we didn't speak about him for the past 3 rounds, so he's trying to prove a point.
7 got caught off, and that was going to be an important piece of utility for the
22 to 11.
You saw them playing very passively towards the back of the A side because they wanted to.
Yeah, I think there's a good timeout as well. They messed up
to play that retake on that side.
But it's still like they're still in control. It's still okay.
Lose control of elbow, but
Rando Gen.
been very strong to fight back
2 years now as well, Rando Gen. Thank you for the tier 1, man. Appreciate you being here, dude. Where's Dorsey as well with the prime? Thank you for the 19 months also.
On both, like concussing utilities from the fault line and the relay bolts is
on in the EMEA Ascension games. Yeah, I had a little look today. I wasn't following it too heavy, but I had a little look. We'll be watching the final tomorrow.
First time out.
I still do the KPI stuff is kind of nuts, man.
As the strat book has been maybe
one of the best individual performances we've seen for a while.
Now it's about the small tweaks, the small changes.
Yeah, he kind of secured himself getting picked up next year, no matter what.
How do you get into the A site safely? How can we put Mata in a better position where he's not just bait? I don't think he can get away with skating around as he did, but he's gone on some fun flanks before.
16?
If they keep getting
okay, well,
an option
secured himself getting picked up in 2 years. Dude, that's devastating for him. Just got to grind it out for 2 years in tier 2.
Now
18 in March is his birthday.
Shops here.
People could do something similar to what they did with Woot, right?
Again, Potentially
again, it still wouldn't be next year. It'd have to be a year after.
Off
There's 1 year out.
First. Seeing that there's nobody
Teams will do
there,
that though.
and
Like a team next year would definitely do that.
Here for stalls for both Poise and GMD in front of this B side. Rolling Thunder available. Paranoia that it could
do the
throw.
Woot treatment. Yeah, just have a stand-in for the first 2 months.
So he could try to cross over and see whoever crosses over. But MxS decided to go for a pivot instead.
Yeah, this is nice. Insert one over towards B. We had a bit of mid-control as well. We got the camera that ensures that nothing's over towards middle. Still have a block of vision as well if we want to create pressure on middle. It's a good default.
Otoshima could get some sort of pick, but he's smoked out.
And TSM realizing that they've kind of just been wrecked of map control at the moment. 3-person peek over towards middle. I only think the camera saw 1, so they didn't get full info that there was 3, yeah.
Are getting their information, and now you have Flya just kind of presenting himself mid to kind of draw TSM's attention. TSM realizing they have no one at A, they have to re-clear this.
The call on this.
Not knowing someone could be an elbow, so Sim taking time with it and gets a good headshot on Tamada. And they trade 1 for 1.
Yeah, keep an eye on the.
Trying to play safe, hoping Voice gets there in time.
Break the camera?
He's wrapping around too. He hears the footsteps. He might be able to get the second backstab into elbow.
Are they gonna expect him here?
Just gonna hold his angle instead. I don't know if he's gonna hear Otoshima run across.
Oh, it's so perfect. Yeah, spike down 10 seconds. It's good info. Oh, it just means they can't plant.
Rolling Thunder from Poise. This is gonna get Vic at the very least. Flya seems unaffected. He's at the corner. And there's just no time to play
this kid is playing so well.
That was the most important kill coming out from Sim once again. It looked dangerous.
Sim again, it just gets the... I also liked how TSM played this. It was looking a little bit done in terms of like map control. It was pretty much question marks all over this half of the map. And they just started walking. They cleared middle fast, then 2-person cleared over towards side.
And getting that backstab kill onto Brock.
Yeah, and then him reactively played this insanely well, man.
Rolling Thunder and allowed TSM to tie up the game, and not only that,
3 in a row. It was going so well. It was like perfect game plan.
So that resets everything. The momentum's back on TSM's side, and now the op comes
back
through.
To B. Okay. Oh boy, this guy's dead.
Past the smoke too. After hearing the knife, he said YOLO. The orb get tapped. Thought he had a close target. Someone a little too close for comfort. Sim back to a more default op position there at the top of Boba. But maybe now that there's no smokes in mid, could be open sightlines for Sim to take advantage of.
That's something that you want from Sim here, to get it activated, be comfortable. Something that he's been very good yesterday again against OHG. Getting so many first bloods for the team, allowing TSM to get, what, 18 versus 10 first bloods on this map. Off the back of Sim, on how crazy he has been walking through these smokes, getting picks and able to get away. But because of that stall and not finding information, they potentially have to use utility to get the
wild way he fish ults here and just annihilates them all.
That's going to allow for them to get information here.
Only hit 1. No way, bro, was so blind. 30 HP, 10 HP, that's what the jaws came down to. 34 HP. It was 3 different jaws. One was 30, one was 10, one was 34. That's so unlucky.
To protect the planter and even the cage on top, but Flya pushes through.
Yeah, it's out here with the body shots.
Gets the trade, and that's all MxS needed to work towards. This will get them the lead on a map that MxS have never won on this stage.
Yeah, and look at the HP that remains for MxS after winning this round here. Sim's trying to do a little bit of econ damage, but staying a little bit further back. But everything was really there for TSM to be able to hold back the B-bait push in the very beginning. When the Thrash came through, it actually detained somebody. We had the fault line coming out to try to stun.
Is it worth signing someone before they are 18 to secure them as a player? Yes, and you can do the like a loan system as well.
And somehow, no, it was 7
so
because
I think some teams could consider that.
Win the fight against Mata, just
yeah, because in this game you can at least loan them out. So if you're like sure that it is like the next gen kind of player,
crumbling the defensive side of TSM here over on the B side.
You just loan them out.
It gives a chance here for MxS to finally reset things around back in their favor on their attack side, where the gun round still continues out for TSM. No op, but at least they had the rifle and they still want to play with
I think honestly that's probably how this game will turn a little bit, because Des was talking about like there's a couple of crazy cracked kids in Brazilian scene as well.
Peaks through B main. They've done this before without util. They just get mowed down. TSM
this was just nice from them, just knowing that they were going to go aggro. I swear, these guys have them completely sussed out on B.
There's no retaliation for TSM in that moment.
It's going to be dangerous if you want to go for this one. I think it's safer. I mean,
Kiwi, thank you so much as well. Kiwi_Wee with the 9 months. Thank you for the prime, dude.
Yeah, TSM wants to continue to go for it. Here's a tap on that spike.
It's just now bullet hell coming through the smoke. TSM. It's not even they can fire back. MxS are in cover. Maybe not so safe. Spike gets tapped.
GMD's doing work here. Omen flash is good. Oh, that's kind of unlucky.
Just a few more seconds to kill.
Okay, I mean, they're gonna go B again. They're gonna go B. You gotta work something out. And it can't be the late push here. You either go super aggro or you full retake and someone goes down bottom middle. Yeah, look at them. They're trying to work it out.
Consistently been running towards this B main with the KO knife and then getting a couple of rounds. Then TSM, out of their timeout, want to fight back. They push back towards B main a couple of rounds ago and get successful
What do you think about
kills.
Sage on Sunset? I think Sage is unreal on Sunset. Unreal.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If you literally look at the old Paper X comp, I think it has the best win rate out of any comp on this map. I'm pretty sure. Like the old school Paper X one. Paper X used it, Heretics. Nope. Paper X used it, Liquid used it, Apex used it. I think they're the only 3 teams. If you actually look at the win percentage, I think it's like miles above every other comp. What the? My guy.
And Mata just comes up from behind. Has TSM watching their back. TSM have 2 stacked at B to hopefully prevent the plant from even happening. This GMD doesn't want to go on too deep of a flank either, but
Dude, they're actually going to win every round over towards B. It's devastating.
Slow things down.
Oh.
Mata's going to go in. And has friends.
It's unlucky with that one.
I think 20+ kills now. Best
yeah, I mean,
Sim.
Brock
really
is just...
a duel of Sim versus Brock, former teammates.
What up?
Securing the map, but not before a proto.
Oh, they overstepped. Yeah, tunnel vision too much on the afterplant over towards B. TSM finally went around over towards B. One last chance.
Sim have been in terms of opening kills, swing rounds, but when it comes down to these clutch
Birds is running back. Birds is running back to B main. That's not on me. Dude, the tunnel vision's insane here. They actually... It felt like they didn't consider the fact that there could be someone facing out here.
An important fight to win. Not only
Apex are undefeated with it. Liquid are 1-0, and then Paper X. I don't think Paper X lost with it, Bacon. Wait, is it an undefeated comp?
Will be going into this last round of regulation.
I need to look into that. FC_Aiden with the prime. Thank you so much. Celix with the prime as well. Thank you for the 3 months. Appreciate you doing that. Thank you. And Prison Mike as well. With the prime. Thank you so much, dude.
At this point, because I see a Proto already rotating out.
Paper X lost once.
And that's just to place a camera.
Oh, okay. Dude, that has a crazy win rate.
There's that fast lane.
A high 90% win rate.
Slide into a plant position. Sim hiding through the cage. Waits for his moment to engage. Does he want to make that heroic play? He's got a team behind him. Sim just dip, dive, and dodge through everyone. The overdrive pops. And TSM looking for the equalizer.
No way. He stopped himself from going into the shock and survived as well. Dude, that was sick. Okay, they got it down, dude. The fast flood over towards B. Shout out to Sim. Shout out to Sim even. Dude, look at this. 26 to 17, 26 to 15. These two are going head to head with this.
And keeping the team together for TSM in the hectic and chaotic moments. I don't know how much we could
Sim.
prop this guy up here for Sim, but he's been a player that's been grinding in the tier 2 scene for the longest time, has been part of the original roster as well for Moist Moguls, and got dropped as well, going into multiple roster shuffles of that previous roster.
Paper X 4-1, Liquid 1-0, Apex 8-0, overall 13-1. Dude, at least I backed the right comp really early on. That's cool, man. Dude, why is no one else using that comp?
TSM into their first map victory against MxS by
only
pushing
lost
this
once
into
out
the
of
first
14.
round of overtime.
Only a trip stands in TSM's way.
Everyone just went to copy Heretics' stuff because I guess it was more mainstream.
MxS are gonna
they had like a big standout event with it. Oh, it's a good recon though.
TSM have wingman on the plant. TSM with a quick take.
Yeah, and these other guys can't go out and help them too much.
Aim through the slide against Brock. Was that 20+ kills?
I like this from GMD. GMD's done a really good move here though, because the recon kind of made it look like no one else followed it out, and they were all over towards B main. But he's taking a lot of map control here.
They're gonna go through market instead. Who's to cut them off? It's a Proto, but he's already been bested.
I still think GMD is the guy at the moment here. He's the only person in my mind that can win this. This where 7 just kills everyone.
TSM hold their ground and aren't even gonna be playing through B main because of the
Come on, man. I backed you for that. Okay, nicely done from Flyer.
Just MxS left. Flyer with 3.
One of the rare misses coming out from GMD.
Another go at it.
One to win against Flyer, because look at what happened right after.
The curse is real. Ah, man, I shouldn't speak, dude. I didn't so dirty.
On the side, because both the players of TSM outside of GMD were playing out in the open to watch towards the market. The most
It was such a
important
durable
kill that
1v1.
GMD needed there in his pulse plan to give a chance here for TSM to win a 3 versus 5. Unfortunately, falters and allows here MxS to once again get map point. But they are also the ones that are going to call the timeout going into their attack
with the prime.
side.
Thank you for the
I'm
3 months,
wondering here
dude.
at this
Thank
point,
you.
Is it going to be a new trick coming out of their sleeve with the amount of conditioning on the B side that they've done in the second half of this game, of this map? TSM's going to have to think.
MxS, I think, can just pick what was their favorite and strongest offensive
Penguin
round.
as well. Penguin
9 of their
VV1 with the
13
prime.
wins
Thank you
were on
also for
offense.
using a prime on me, man. Appreciate the support.
This is a position TSM should be terrified to be in, going up against. It looked like a flawless offense until TSM started to catch up and figure out how to.
The head-to-head, yeah, the head-to-head is crazy at the moment.
For MxS to take their first win on Sunset, to take their first win in this series.
Bacon, it's just Scream believers,
because
man.
MxS are the one
Be nice to them. They just want to know when Scream's coming back into a team.
On the attack side, you're kind of scratching your
like
head
we all
for
do.
TSM on the defensive side. Are they going to try to pull out
There's
something
people
new?
like you
Are they
standing
gonna
in
try
his
to
way,
condition
not picking
towards
him
the
up.
B-side again and just continuously hit towards this B side? Or will they try to go for
Being a
some sort
hater.
of split here? And if you're looking at it now, as we're back inside the server,
Complaining
it
about
definitely
people
looks like some
asking.
sort of a default that they have by keeping the spike back into the spawn, by having players potentially
Joe
still
Tayak
conditioned
with the
towards
tier
B
1.
main,
Thank you for
but
the 3 months, man.
Vic
Appreciate you.
back towards A side first.
Whoa, we go for a 4 passing middle, 2 going down deep, and 1 watching either side. Yeah, instant reaction to B, maybe. They only spot 2, to be fair. They can't really instant react to
Take
it.
advantage. TSM went for the quick playoff in the early round.
Okay, Bacon, I see.
Now that's
Forgot about that.
The recon dart and the knife used very early here in the first 30 seconds of the round. So potentially the most important Aldron's about to come out here in front of B main to get the information towards this B site to see who's there. But you definitely see it from MxS. They are looking for a split into this B site.
Yeah, MxS have hit the B side a lot. I don't blame TSM for stacking on that side. Now that top mid is open.
8-bit Ducky as well with the 18 mums. Thank you so much as well, dude.
Especially with Mata, who's
Appreciate you doing that.
Flank, and as soon as the
Okay, so we got
looks
camera
away,
out,
the
we got
timing,
drone
MxS
out at the same
start
time as we
across
3
the
pass
water,
and
and
walk
across
middle.
from
It's an
behind.
incredibly
Goes 1 for 1.
bold call to do on a
TSM
round like
control
this.
of the back
And
row.
I'm not
They're
meaning
still
like
trying
bold
to
bad,
push
like
it.
it is actually just a
Vic
really bold call.
against 7
Great shot,
to
man.
take away one of their flashes. But Vic didn't know 7 was on top of the box. A better position, a better shot. And MxS only have 2 on this post plan if they can even get away with it.
So unlucky,
Boys
man.
and GMD are left, but MxS, they just stand tall on the site. And it's all up to GMD to save TSM. And time is running out.
10 seconds left.
GMD is on the other side.
Also
Not
end it
able
with a
to
B
prevent
main
the
plant.
but still has full util
He has
smokes,
double
paranoia,
smoke.
a teleport.
Like, could you
Clearing every
just
corner.
one-way either side
Now,
of this,
planted
and it
for
would be
main.
insanely strong if you did it on the close
Where is
corners?
his camera? It already spotted him. GMD's position revealed, his advantage gone. He has a smoke to dance with, so he can tap the spike and force them to engage. Oh, and the recon is gonna stop him from getting it halfway.
Oh, go in time. It's gonna be close,
They're
right?
just doing everything
Oh,
they
okay,
can. They'll
well.
get it halfway. And MxS
Whoa.
are just playing with their food. GMD forces a 1v1. and wants to stick it.
Oh, he peeked early. That's crazy. Okay, nicely done, dude. What, dude? This is a sick map, though. This was a solid map. Shout out to this guy, man. This guy played insanely good. I really like this call at the end, to be honest, though. It was actually a really, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Map picked out by TSM, but you're definitely seeing why TSM picked it up here. They look so good in the trap plays, and it kind of had MxS on a loop.
The smokes here at the end, yeah, wasn't great, Bacan.
So very well done here.
I tried to stay silent with it.
But MxS pull out on top, and
he nearly won it as well.
One more map here to move in to the Ascension playoffs.
And that was TSM's map pick. It was so back and forth. We had so many lead changes. And of course, it's very TSM-like to force in overtime and fall over their shoelaces. It came down to a 1v1 and all about that chess match. But it is now series point for Moist Shopify, and their choice of map is up next. We're going to Ascent, and we'll see who goes to Ascension or not after this break.
Any plan to create a community pick'em leaderboard? Wait, can I do that in-game? Or is that just like a VLR thing? The VLR thing? Dude, that in-game would be pretty cool. Okay, let me look into that tomorrow. Eight to 3 fast bloods, fast deaths for Sim. Yeah, he was pretty insane now. There's in-game too. Wait, I can do that in-game. Let me look at both of these tomorrow. And I'll either tweet about it. It's on Riot's eSport page. It's doable. It is in game. Oh, okay.
You're trapped by a killjoy.
Yeah, let me do that. Let me do that for tomorrow.
It sucks.
And then I'll
there's a chance you're gonna get out.
tweet it. I'll put it in my description for my YouTube video, and for the streams I'm doing tomorrow, we'll have it pinned or something.
Most
that sounds cool.
situations where you're getting detained by Gecko, you're like getting hunted
Bacon,
down
it's happening.
because,
Relax
like,
yourself.
the
Dude, Bacon,
distance,
chat. Bacon's crazy today, man. Bacon's really down.
The same. They both freeze you. I guess. Honestly,
Okay, chat. I'm gonna spam some ads. Everyone give Bacon some nice words, man. I can tell he's really down today.
Shame on you.
He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to admit it. But Bacon really needs just like some kind of pick me up today. Anything to help his mental get better.
Ooh, I feel like getting detained by a KJL is worse.
Yeah, I'll be back in a little bit.
There's so much more shame if like you don't make it out of there in time. It's like you got like 15 whole seconds and you don't make it out. So I feel like that's a lot worse.
If I got killed by a raised boombot, I would be pretty upset. I'm not gonna lie. If I got shock darted, it's like, all right, whatever, man. You got some skill, you know. I know I've died a couple times to Hiko back in the day and some double shocks on Ascent, so I'm hardened by that. But a raised boombot, I think I've only died once in my life to that, and it was in the beta, jumping off split rafters as a troll. So I do not want to die to a raised boombot.
I don't even know. This one's really rough. I have PTSD because on my old teams we used to 1v1 with so much shock darts. And we trash talk each other. So then for me it would be the Roomba because I don't want to deal with that. Like my teammates like roasting the hell out of me when I die to that. So for me it would be the Roomba.
Okay, I think getting killed by a shock dart is worse because I feel like the boom bots are like pretty accidental. But like getting killed by a shock dart is 95% of the time, like they're styling on you, you know, like they're hitting you with some tech.
Like sometimes Sofas be shooting those things. Like like sometimes you're just gonna die, especially if you have like low HP. Like with the Roomba, you can like I've had moments where I just do like an Omega Lol moment and just don't see the Roomba and I just solo die, and it's like wow.
I think it's worse getting killed by shock dart. I think when you die to like a Roomba, it's like niche, doesn't really happen often. Like it is what it is. But getting shock darted is probably one of like Valorant's low-key like more annoying things because you just like you get hit with a 75 shock dart, like your round's like kind of over. I mean it's not over, but you don't really get the face like you would want before. So
The game starts long before the game starts. And warm hands are faster hands. Gain the upper hand and power up your pregame warm-up with Zippo hand warmers.
Got it to take it to overtime in the first map here of the series, but in the end, it's going to be MxS 14-12 to close out the very first map, stealing TSM's pick away from them in the all-decisive series. I mean, we were looking at that first map. We got to see such a back and forth, such a close matchup between these two teams on Sunset.
Oh, I think Don called it at the start of this game. This is TSM's brand. They are very scrappy. And for a good part of this map, they were able to drag MxS down to the muddy depths and, and force them sort of into this very, very back and forth, very individualized style. We saw the same look from TSM again, like really leaning on Sims Neon, which was definitely a highlight for them. But man, step into the Broctagon, you're going to know about it.
Yeah, scrappy indeed. It would not be a TSM victory without, or a TSM map rather, without a couple scrappy rounds, couple rounds thrown, couple rounds won that we didn't deserve. That's all right though. I mean, that's how these guys like to play, and for the most part, it's working for them. But my gosh, we talked about it before this map about how everybody on MxS needs to step up and help out Mata, and I think Brock heard that and took it personally. I mean, 28 and 16 on the Sova. This man was an animal with 299 ACS. This is exactly why they call him the Big Brock.
Broctagon really putting in that work today. I mean, it was incredible, and I think a really good testament too to MxS that it isn't just what Mata can do. It isn't just getting through Mata. If Mata has a great game, I think this is a impossible team to get through, but really showing that it doesn't have to all be. LeBrock was putting in huge work, even if this was just so close. And TSM, they definitely had some really good step-up moments as well throughout it. I mean, there was great shutdowns at Sim. I mean, we could talk for hours about Sim, honestly. This Neon really just putting in the work, but I mean, looking through this, I feel like this sets a really fun precedence into the next map of the series, like how everyone got to step up this first time.
Yeah, I'm going to put it out there. To circle back to the storyline, I did say I wanted to see Otoshima and Vic step up on this map, and they both did. They had a really, really good game. Otis got pressured very heavily, I think, on that defense side where MxS started, was the weak side, holding that B solo. Eventually, though, you saw MxS start to get a bit more of a feel for what TSM were going for. I really think that they played quite well, actually, around a lot of TSM's sort of attack side gimmicks and a lot of their sort of set plays, which we can probably talk about in a moment here. But generally, like, you can't... Yeah, it's crazy to account for, like, Brock just going absolutely bonkers like this. Just an insane individual performance. But, it was a real team effort, and I love the MxS defense side to start with, at least.
I mean, you're talking about going around set plays. Round 7 to the first one, round 6.
Yeah, I mean, so like TSM go for this trap play here behind the breach, and Sim is getting in their face, right? We lose Vic, that's fine. Mata falls off this site, but I think Flyer actually tried to trade for Mata, even though he'd fallen back. But they give up the site. Mata just sits inside elbow here and allows TSM to impale themselves on their own bayonets in this round. This is what we were talking about. This is one of the strengths, I think, of TSM's Neon-based comp.
Right.
But if you fall off that site and give up elbow, give up a little bit of space and have a good flood retake, you're in great
API against CGN tomorrow.
That could have gone really wrong for MxS. That Flyer tries to, fight. I think there's some wires getting crossed there or something.
The best of 5 tomorrow, right?
That went quite well. Unfortunately, TSM get let back into that half because MxS start fighting for that position. They're getting caught in these breach fault lines and a lot of this stun utility because they're unwilling to sort of fall off those positions and sort of play back onto the side. That's where the only thrifty of the map happened, where TSM walked up, used all their util, had the Neon play, and they basically killed them with a bunch of sheriffs. That allowed TSM to end up with a 7-5 score on that attacking side. And MxS had to work pretty hard to bring things back. Winning the pistol definitely didn't hurt, though.
It definitely did not.
Calvin on Score Geo, thank you so much for that, man. Appreciate the prime.
Looking back at round 17
yeah, the VOD channel should be pretty useful for people in NA for the champs, that's for sure.
We kind of missed it at the beginning, but Vic throws out a smoke as the Neon sprints up middle, and both Neon and Omen are going to peek at the same time while a Paranoia comes out.
It's not a thing, Bacan. It's not a thing, man.
The recon scan over there.
That life of being that uncomfy, it's not for me.
Brock's going to drone in through a main, while the players on A are worried about these guys that just TP'd and sprinted up behind them, and then it's just a 5v2 as these guys get pinched into elbow and absolutely obliterated. This is clearly something they had in the playbook ready for when
Wait, Sims, you do it for the gym? Isn't just like cardio?
Something they pulled out and executed to flawless perfection.
I'm a child, dude. I just like being comfortable. That's it. I prioritize comfort.
Be able to pull this off, like we're on it.
Freezy 2070 with the Prime. Thank you for the 4 months, man. Thank you for doing that.
Later, this next map in the series, because if you're a TSM fan out there, this starts to look super scary. Ascent is next up. MxS is picked, but TSM were actually banning this out before and after their loss to Core here back in week 4, and they had to swap over to banning out Abyss that first time. So now when your life, your chance at Ascension,
give me Ascension after champs, yeah, for sure. Gonna hopefully be able to watch like all 3 to an extent.
Absolutely.
Depending on the time zones and where we're fully starting.
An edge here in a few places.
At least like near the end.
Great map for them. And the last time they played it in stage 2 is because Core picked this map. Like they're obsessed with playing this map and getting Zelda's in a position just to pop off in general, which he, you know, didn't actually in that series. He didn't really have to.
Oh, okay, Sims. That makes a lot of sense.
Marta's gonna be a problem here. Depending on the kind of composition that you play, you need to be able to force Marta off a lot of those angles. If he's on the defense side and he gets to settle into picking up an early operator, he's going to be a big problem because he's very dynamic. He's always floating in between mid. He'll sink over, you know, towards tree, take that position at A heaven, and be pretty hard to play into in general. And if we do see TSM come out with like that double sentinel composition, which
happy, yeah, I would imagine so. If they don't make it through that way, I would imagine that people will like look to him
from a jet that threatens to dominate you with that position. So keep an eye out.
Especially maybe some of the French orcs.
You will see the deadlock, I think.
Cass, thank you so much as well. Cass with the 10 months. Appreciate the tier 1. Thank you for doing that.
Thinking about today, we got to see a little swap up in the last series. But Don, I want
impressions. Calvin, you went from YouTube chat just into the Twitch chat for the Prime. Respect.
That's about what we expected.
So much for doing
that. You know, I'm really digging the TSM comp. You know, it's a little out of the ordinary.
Oh, Dom, don't even ask me about it, Dom. I'm still furious.
Base. Just about Ascent comp that
still furious, man.
With a proto
crazy times.
Cypher rather than the Killjoy. I think it's
never again.
That, suits his playstyle and a bit of a comfort.
I've done my one suit for the next 10 years.
I think TSM are in a good spot here, at least in terms of agents to try and shut down this.
Congrats, by the way, on the Ascension stuff.
To run the double sentinel.
Best of luck, also.
Like and has been coming out and becoming
okay, so they bring out,
especially in challengers. So. But I think overall there's a lot more nuance that goes into this.
They bring out the double sentinel that everyone's kind of owning with.
Going back against the wall 0-1. Yes, TSM, you know, you're going into this. This is not a map that you're favored on. This is not a map that you're used to playing. But there's more to it than that, right? This is all the pressure on. The onus is on Moist to come in and shut this down in a 2-0. And TSM have to fight their way back to stay alive for their year, right? This is Ascension on the line and something that they're going to have to dig deep and pull upon all the experience of their very veteran players to pull something out here magical on Ancient and see if or on Ascent rather, and see if we can bring this to.
It comes for champs. Yeah, it should be live on my YouTube if you want to check it out.
Shopify's favor right now.
Probably the least bold predictions you can get, I would say.
They are fragging out TSM. It's now or never for the step up on Ascent. Can they do it? Take it to a map 3. Let's find out. Let's head over to Vance and Lemon for Ascent.
Thank you so much, Sierra. Oh, we're playing Ascent for Ascension. Like, it's poetic at this point.
It is for sure. And it's going to be a tough game for TSM going into the second map, because I thought it was going to be one of those series where you kind of trade off maps. TSM's looking pretty good on Sunset.
Winning it all. Yeah, I did the Chinese team study.
Because Mata just pops off on this very map, and it's very hard to control MxS on this map. And then we go to a third map where everything's decided on Haven. But now it's starting to lean to look pretty good here.
But I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Potentially close this off on a 2-0. Mata's always been so active around this map, so good.
Okay, one away.
How he runs
one away from Ascension. This might be the map to do it.
And you're hoping that
Sim, that map.
from the way that he's been playing Neon in the past 2 days, could do some very similar things to keep this game close and give a chance now for TSM to stay
I think that one's too crazy.
Push to a third map.
And like we said before, like
Paper Rex. Paper Rex against Foot.
Now you're putting him on Jed. This is his.
I think that's the one stuff that the mad stuff doesn't work against them really. And then G2, I'm super confident with G2.
We'll just get some recons going for mid.
I think Group D is the one that I'm the most confident about.
Might have just pinged Otoshima. Meanwhile, MxS
apart from maybe Group A.
Into tree, and this is going to set up GMD to go for paranoia play, and with Sim by his side, they'll be able to fire back, and MxS now being discovered are going to take a step back.
It was actually pretty good here for MxS to start. They pulled out the Owl Drone to keep players at bay and trying to work out the catwalk, but it's pushing Sim out, and
what an absolute shot, man.
Couldn't get the first blood there on Tamada.
Oh, and with the one-way, MxS stepped up thinking TSM were gonna be there, and they go 1-for-1. They slip up, and 7 holds the angle, and against Vic, gets a 2. Gets 2 kills out of that.
Damn,
and
he's gonna win it. He got another.
He's just trying to get the spike. There's a backstab from Otoshima, who's been playing A main this whole round. We're left in a 1 versus 2 with
might be the first pistol they lose.
Position revealed, but at least a spike in hand.
And thankfully, the last 2 players of TSM are still out towards heaven, so Otoshima could actually
Bro
set
still
that
has
extra
the wall
paranoia against TSM and potentially even get a plant wherever he wants. And he decides to go towards the A side because he has
he's
double
absolutely
wall pretty much,
that.
closing
It
his
works
door, walling up towards heaven, and this will potentially, and I mean, with those shots, he knows where the last 2 players are at.
Oh, the shock. Towards Jen, so Otoshima could get the surprise on that beautiful.
Dude, I was so shocked that when he jumped up, there was no one. There was no one in front of him.
Some great anchoring being done here by 7 to kick things off for TSM.
Got
keep the room alive here for the fifth round to finally come
pistols.
in favor of the T solo mid. It started off very well for MxS on how they worked that map. What I was trying to get to, they really pushed and pulled TSM into different angles around middle, around catwalk, setting up the extra paranoia, and you're forcing the hand out of TSM to make a play. And as they come out towards catwalk, you actually had the upper hand fight that was won by MxS. But then you have players that could always pop off in these moments under the roster, under the banner of TSM, and it's this time 7 holding it down towards tree and allowing TSM to get pistol. And now the anti-eco where they're going to hold this back. There's just so much utility. The one way is going to come across.
That we're trying to set up close.
Some counter utility being thrown, but everybody's already avoided this from TSM.
The paranoia right through main there from TSM. Anything.
Dude, no extra TP out. It's devastating.
Even GMD was in line, and MxS get torn apart, and even their lurk towards B got dealt with. But this is an open courtyard for Mata, but a Proto.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna keep this one real clean.
So TSM have been able to negate.
Guy's got his recon as well, doesn't have to do anything crazy.
In this round to dwindle it only to Brock and Otoshima that have to wait for this one-way cage to be gone.
If anything, the silver lining is Otoshima is already 1 away from getting the ult. So after getting pistol round, getting the plant, getting a couple of kills, now he's got ult the next round in their gun round, which would give a chance here for MxS to really
very nice. What are we thinking?
TSM.
One armory buy, that's it.
Really
Don't go much better than this.
Here from winning this
they didn't even shoot the judge off, right? So they don't know about the judge as well.
Especially if you can keep Otoshima alive later in the round so that this annihilation won't have anyone to really prevent it from fully taking place. So I like that this is going to be a play that MxS can lean on as they're already leaning towards B.
This comp? I think Despa's saying that this comp averages like 7 on attack or something
they're
mental.
really just trying to wallbang Odin.
Yeah, that's a very strong
for a heavy
attack.
hit potentially, but this is a pop flash, a peek towards main here for, as you mentioned, Sim.
Camera contact into...
I was wondering if Sim was going to
go
around the corner, waits for information.
Worried that the camera is like too...
TSM.
I mean, honestly, it would probably be fine.
The camera's watching out towards market.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it's going to be camera contact into flash speed to take a timing after you hear the drone.
And it's instead the owl drone that calls for
yeah, this is cool though. Instant reaction over towards middle. These two...
Delayed the engagement there. And MxS don't have Otoshima, don't have that annihilation, so...
Look at this as well. I love this push, man. This is sick.
Like they're pushed
especially the trip goes over towards here. Folded's 2 over towards B main. They know about the drone as well, so they made 3. In a trip here, they only didn't know about one person, so they double push middle.
Yeah, and TSM are just gonna hold up on the site and hopefully to prevent them, but there's only so much you could do with.
Okay, they killed 2.
Sim, and there is Flyer paving down
this guy knifed, right? Man, maybe they shouldn't have put the maybe they shouldn't have put the judge on the KO.
This is going to be it. MxS pretty much has this round. It's going to be almost impossible to retake of 2 versus 4 with the amount of weaponry that MxS has and the crossfire setup that they have inside the site. I think for TSM, the best bet you can do right here is to, because this is your bonus round, keep them in the site. Let them die to spike.
1 enemy remaining.
Or do that and die.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, listen to Vans, guys.
Yeah, I agree, man. So they had the right idea here.
Good, right? Silver lining is it's
Coach
a bonus round here for TSM, but I do like the initial play. I was talking about the camera before that was set by a Proto. Not only that it watches towards Pizza, but it could also watch a little bit deeply into main, which would potentially be able to watch that lurk up and allow the flash and the double swing to
it didn't
come
really
right
make
after
sense.
from B main.
The
But it was
Cypher
the
Jet and the person using the judge is the KO.
surprise attack that TSM
Person
had.
with like
But because there were
flashes,
so
knife,
towards B
etc.
main, it gave a perfect opportunity for Fly to slip through somehow.
I would rather just put it on
top mid
Jet back
and get
side.
behind enemy lines. It gets a 3K.
Life is a bit too obvious.
Single-handedly took down everybody from TSM on the defensive side, and Sim now's pushing down towards bottom mid. Is trying to look.
We got someone watching top mid as well on this stuff.
And that's great patience out
of
MxS, knowing the aggression.
Big KO flash can bail them out, maybe.
He'll get one shotgun as a backup plan, but too far away to get the finishing blow.
Wait, that hit that guy from here. That's sick. And he got carried all the way out and didn't get shot as well.
Pretty tagged up.
Oh, in the end.
MxS, they can just get Otoshima in a position for a post play.
My God.
Yeah, and with a plant as well, he's going to be one away from that ult. And this guy's going to be saving. And that's a lot of money.
Yeah. And that's what it makes. Well, that's why Ascent is still very
fun
to watch.
Convincing round though. It's pretty cool.
Yes, it's vanilla comps. It's different or similar ways.
Yeah, I wanted to see something else over towards middle. I think this KO like didn't feel confident with the flashes or anything. This guy got completely plucked out of there.
Knowing how it comes down to those matches where you understand the play styles of the players you're playing against more than the team or the composition in itself.
This is a nice ult lineup
force out an op, run out towards the main. They waited for the owl drone, and when you force out the dash, he can't go away anywhere anymore. So
I thought this was sick though. I mean, it was a whole plan anyway. Like I know they, no, it didn't like fully work out as they planned. I mean, it kind of did, but
defensive side push. And
the late mid push after you have B main control so that you can use an ult if there's anyone close over towards here info wise. Like it's pretty cool, man. This is a really smart round.
In this round number 4.
Like it worked out a little bit better because this guy was out over towards middle and obviously they tagged him. But say you're playing like more of a passive setup like this, like someone here, really strong.
So
take this guy out of it.
Early
split. This guy is like committed to either spamming it or whatever.
Overtime once TSM had their final timeout started to recuperate. You can really never count out TSM until they're fully dead. But we'll see if MxS will be discovered leaning into B. This will be up to
is this a low buy?
To catch this and for Poise to maybe slow this down with the shock bolt and with the net from MxS. It caught both right at the front door. So
yeah, I'm worried they're gonna run away with it. Get a server ult for the next big buy round as well.
Your own smoke and hoping to win the double swing, and you win your individual duels. It worked out. Nothing you could do here for TSM. Potentially another moment where GMD is going to save his rifle, and the last 2 players are just going to look for the
another round for them to just stack up a lot of money. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
To try to fight out towards B main, but you definitely see that MxS, they are looking pretty confident and comfortable in these duel fights.
And MxS has been able to carry a lot of these weapons. They're losing maybe 1 or 2 as the rounds end high, and now they're kind of cursing.
What's going on?
Too early of a flawless call, but MxS
this round is cast.
They're getting pretty rich, and you don't want MxS to carry too much momentum, not like they did on Sunset, as GMD is getting hunted down left and right and won't get away.
Yeah, thankfully it was only rags for TSM for this round. Yes, GMD not able to save his rifle, but they should still be in a decent economy.
When to go to Ascension,
yes. Here, GMD still was able to afford a rifle and full shields. But that just right there, and the amount of value that you get out of a deadlock on these pushes when you're trying to fight here as a team, the net that they throw towards the entrances, you could throw these through walls as well towards B main. This could also counteract against an Odin spam on the B site, where potentially why you don't see Poise trying to save up for the Odin as soon as possible and try to go for the wallbang.
We got a lot of set rounds of ults here.
For a quick hit towards this B site once
we saw that one earlier that was over towards B, the mid split with the
initial damage and dwindled them down.
With the deadlock ult. We have this one with the server ult.
They're traded back. Hunter's Fury for Brock.
What an absolute beast though. He played this so well. Okay, giant 2v2. TSM really need this.
Weaken MxS's offense even more. Vic is below half health. He'll get the plant, and Brock has an Odin, so I pointed out how many rounds he was able to hold on to that for, and GMD will be on the flank to hopefully steal that away from him. Brock is watching it though, and it's all about timing. Brock has 2 sightlines to watch.
33 HP.
Backstab. It's just Vic in the shadows, in the closet, gets flashed. Knows, at least on the left side, 7 will be there. Paranoia misses. Here's the push from TSM. to look for the equalizer. As Vic.
Well, you could tell the comms came in at the low HP here.
Yeah, they just tried by for the kill, which they had to tempo up very quick because there's not enough time left on that spike. I mean, 5 seconds left. If you dance around that a little bit more, and because you had so much utility, you don't really have too much time to throw a second flash, throw a molly. You just have to snuff out your last opponent.
Okay, they got to be careful.
And as soon as you saw the shot coming
I
out
say
here,
careful, they just got to
the
make sure they use the ults. No one oversteps about using an ult, use the ult.
It didn't pan out in the favor here of MxS.
As a reset here would be a nightmare.
Down the storm
right?
here on the B site hits, and that's just off great anchoring once again.
This is a big round.
Proto being challenged, avoiding the paranoia, getting a 1 kill, dying in the
attack.
process, but delaying
Odin
enough
out.
here
Yeah, I forgot about
to
this
allow
guy.
7
Guy's
and
kind of
GMD
unreal with the Odin
to
on this
close
map.
out the round for TSM and keep this game fairly close in this first half. And mind you, because this map is so banal these days, it could go left and right. It's not always defensive side anymore.
Like this smoke, block vision,
So
put the trip in front of it, that's your default, and obviously you can take the jewel later if anyone pushes, get info on it.
Main, so TSM just have to give up a main sonic sensor there for MxS if you would catch, I don't know, Sim trying to dash out or anything crazy. So MxS just hold the angle to see. TSM are a team that are more likely than not, once time has gone by, they'll push out of their safe positions. And now that they haven't really done
you have to cancel his ult. Dude,
left,
this guy,
MxS,
tunnel vision for him. And the longer that he takes here, the better chance he has of these guys on A site getting so wrecked. Hey, that was cool, man. Dude, they got some really nice attack rounds.
As TSM's backs return for MxS to step into the A site and plant.
So good, and look at the util coming out for Otoshima towards the end. A Proto's gonna try to get a timing here. Elise gets it.
And Neural Theft too. Pulled out from a Proto. In a 2 versus 3. Spike gets tapped. Who's gonna come out of tree? They get a ping in hell, and a Proto can't get his gun up in time. It's the Odin that will best him. We're left.
Oh my god. How on earth have they done that?
7 once again and piss around, and now this round, not only with
that is a
kills,
devastating round for them to lose.
The simple clutch
this is not a 2v4. Definitely a 2v3 at one point.
And boy, does he not want to go down without a fight. And he definitely wants
the heaven
to
wall.
sure
Yeah, the heaven wall's
has
giving a little bit of space. You're not wrong. I don't like that he's doing it from here. Don't most people do the trip under? Is that not the one?
That slows you down so much when you're running across the map, and you're still able to get perfect game sense off the hat being thrown.
They should never be losing that. Shout out to 7.
Those players are gonna get pinged out by the neural theft, and how you isolate these fights. Beautifully done here by both 7 and a Proto, but most importantly 7 for that clutch.
7 has an Odin too, but he's just playing.
Because he had a little choice about where he's going to put the trip here.
About an Odin, but went for half shields or light shields to get that going.
That would have. I mean, that would have been the round. That just meant they had a really easy go at this.
The B wall, while TSM on catwalk, Bladestorm out. Sims has come at me, bro, but he's on the other side of green box, so this Aldro won't catch him, but it gives a sense of security for MxS to push
in on this. Oh boy.
Activated from
Guy's gonna pop dash in a sec.
Thing is,
maybe not.
At any moment.
But that's the thing. There's no pop flashes. Look at where 7 is at. He's all the way back towards the B main. So for him to try to peek out of that, it was gonna be terrible if he was going to try to do that. So I like that he pulls back, especially after the smoke came out on the attack. And now you stole things for a bit, but you're still seeing TSM staying active around the map. Now realizing that A side is clear.
I guess they maybe had to pick up on the trap. I'm not entirely sure.
As perfect as they could.
Pretty sure they had to pick up on this.
Again with that Odin that he could spray across, especially with a knife. Now I think it may have pinged one player, but if not,
dude, 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
You're hoping for that recon dart to come up fairly soon here.
MxS already pinging how they want to dash in above and beyond past the trips. A lot of space created as Mata explodes onto the site.
There's a dart.
Trying to see where TSM are and haven't made any contact.
Right. You guys gotta go on site, man.
MxS still have to actually go in the site. Here's the flash at a perfect time from 7. And it catches all of MxS. And there's no time to plan. There's only time to frag. And Otoshima has 2 targets left, and they escape in the shadows, and TSM.
Yeah, nicely done from TSM. I mean, this push was everything as well. This push was everything. And then MxS felt like they had done a good amount of pressure over towards A that would have held more here, but we actually just had 2 strong side, 1 over towards here.
Held back here
Almost middle
towards
as
that
well.
catwalk at the very beginning. So for him not throwing his body away allowed for him to have one of the most crucial kills up towards the lane with 10 seconds left and not allowing MxS to really flood inside that site. But there's such a great control in amount of utility and angles being held by TSM again, and these
Odin
hits coming out from
the Odin
MxS
in general.
And even when MxS is able to get a plant down, TSM are finding great timings to bring it back into their.
At least we get rid of an Odin map. We get rid of the Lotus.
And trying to catch MxS reposition themselves in these post plants, and you're definitely seeing it now. The struggles are coming through.
They've net for backside. Problem is they gotta use something for stairs there to get out of that smoke.
Right, so they're calling out their first timeout.
I like the TSM when they
could change it up.
Good enough information, like if 7's throwing out a knife and they don't ping the whole team, or
It's only because we can see the setup that they're running that they're doing that. Like that util's better back of sight.
And TSM hold power positions and just.
I think it is. There is a team that do it back of sight more, or at least that's when I was watching. I think it's Fnatic that like to do it more back sight, and I think they copied them A team most of their stuff.
For TSM, not peeking when you don't have info, as well they don't get first blooded as much. Now TSM have a lead and are on a win streak actually of 3 rounds in a row, and that's why the timeout had to come out from MxS of how do you slow down this team.
And you're seeing it, right? That's 3 diffuses, 1 off time. So TSM not only good here on retakes,
that all and like all of this, like these 2 in a row,
finding the right moments here.
Like it all comes back to that 2v4.
Maybe it's a call now for
the 2v4 means that they have money to buy in the round before this, which means that they win 2 in a row, which means that these guys now have to eco. So that 2v4 is just the whole half.
When you're playing double sentinel, no KO to pop flash for you to move inside and take control of that tree.
TSM like to play far back.
Oh, I like that though. That's smart because the guy far back shot it, meant that he didn't think that someone was close, so he didn't flash insta.
There's more around the corner, and MxS have mid control, leaning already towards A, and Brock will get a Vandal out of it too. To make this expensive for TSM.
Bro, this guy is mopping him up, man.
Enough towards 7, who's held pizza
the
very
Odin
well
looks
for TSM,
too good.
securing B for the defense. So MxS, they try to just march their way into A. Steady aim for Otoshima with the SMG at range. It goes for the Sheriff, but TSM still had better weapons.
Alright, big buy round. Let's see what they got.
After they lost Mata in top of tree, he just held back towards the trip. And what he's trying to do here is to have his teammates shoot it from long range so that he could actually find the timing and push forward, and almost got that double kill right there. So thankfully there was some good spacing out of TSM where they didn't line up so that you have the underhand flash thrown out by 7 that gets the kill with the Odin. But at least the play around that is actually quite nice, and that's what we're talking about, min-maxing on positioning and timings.
Okay, so it looks like the same main default to get the solo.
So that's a very nice approach, and MxS now has an opportunity off this timeout to run an op. And the op is towards B main.
Aims the trip down again.
Tempo, though, for
There's a
MxS
different
towards
smoke
A
this time,
side.
one bit further back.
Look at Sim though, misses a shot.
Got a lot of map control right now.
Haven't really looked at these one ways that they put at A, so MxS can now grab the orb, and that's another
Your
resource.
TSM
One away from
have
Hunter's
no
Fury,
idea what's
3
going on,
ults to
and they've
use
been
for
pretty good at
MxS.
clearing a lot of this, but they only
Just
clear
the
it
red
at like
carpet
what,
right
50
into A.
seconds.
They haven't-
So MxS probably have
Sometimes
like
they'll
what,
insert
20
Mata
seconds
mid
of
to run through pizza at the back
time
spawn,
before they
but
have to worry about this.
you don't want to make that too consistent, then TSM are going to figure it out. As this op from Mata. Again, TSM play out of sight, out of mind when they don't have information. MxS, now they're playing
No way, no way, he ate an Omen flash. He gets 2 after eating an Omen flash.
Shred them down to just a single member. When MxS had the
7
ult
is
advantage, it seemed like they had a good plan.
just winning every round.
And MxS just get fired down by just one big gun.
That's insane. Well, it's
really,
not the T-1000, isn't it? But it's just like a Terminator in itself. Being the KO, a 7, just running around with the Odin out in the open and getting a spray there onto Mata. And then on top of that, able
I can't believe he gets one there, let alone 2.
Players trying to run behind towards B main. And I was going to mention that these two players, both initiators kind of playing towards this B site, hasn't been the best success stories for MxS's attempt to hit towards the B site. Because what happens at this point, if they actually force players to fall back within the site, you still have recall nerds that could be thrown on the top. And Odin's going to spray from back site. You can throw a Hunter's Fury at some point too to use it towards the market. They have so much good utility and stall with just these two players within this B site that MxS needs a little bit more than just a dash to close the door and more utility to come through. Even
their B stuff,
being thrown
the B stuff does feel a little bit weird.
Because they can't break and find the perfect timing.
Like when they have ults and like this is the same server all run that they did, so maybe TSM will be maybe TSM will be learning.
But he broke, don't fix it.
Because it's the exact same round they did with the server ult. Yeah, some of the stuff that actually be hit when they don't have these ults, it definitely could be a little bit better. Like Omen flash, but then you dash where you're Omen flashing. We got a flash for stairs, but we are doing our net for stairs as well. Like I feel like with the info, you could do the Omen flash way better.
Now the Owl drones are colliding in the air from the shadows from Vic. Will stick it to get to the backside and get away.
Kind of made this one very, very doable. Got double trips as well.
With it up. GMD with the paranoia. It's a 2v2 on the post plant. Paranoia is gonna hit Brock. He has green Simpson with the Odin. Where is he in the smoke?
Don't even win this.
Just the better dance, the better defuse.
Getting annihilated.
What a nice attempt by Vic for TPing all the way back towards the spawn to get those two
kills. Sandy G, 2 years now as well, Sandy. Thank you so much for the tier 1. Thank you. 2025. I don't know. We have to weigh up some options.
And also try to defend backside when he already
lost his team in the back over
there. So they didn't have too much util to play the retake in that area. So MxS kind of forcing Vic on that TP towards the back.
Odin, yeah, I thought he was gonna just let the Odin go.
Right here was kind of a saving grace at the same time because now you have a paranoia. The last two players are pinned inside the site for MxS, and it allows TSM to play this flash and dash and great crosshair placements and win again individual duels, but this time on their side, on the defensive side. Now allowing for them to string
I do feel like
rounds in a row
MxS
on the defensive side.
They have way better B stuff with their protocols.
Attack side at
like
the very
they have a good amount of info.
It definitely looks like there's
really
no answer so far,
like
but
the server and the
a mid control
server and this can get you a good amount.
Sensor reveals someone's pushing up from TSM. Great first.
I still like their all rounds. Like their all rounds are good, but when they got no all rounds, their B hit doesn't really make the most sense.
After they had a wave of ultimates, they just kept hitting their head
full
against
good
the
enough.
wall when it comes to B, thinking the
They'd have to have a solid defense.
Send TSM back.
Dude, ever since that 2v4, everything went wrong for them. Like that is the one round that you look back on and you're just like, well, that changed the whole entire
now they saw
half.
the jump spot towards back mid, and he broke the camera on the B side. So they're trying to sell a fake towards A.
What the?
So they can rotate players out towards the area.
From behind him. Also, their walls aren't great at the moment.
Yeah, and
they need to get full info. This guy's on short as well.
They get picked off, and even a double kill. TSM B control is insane. It's just untouchable. And MxS can't carve their way anywhere. Except now it's Otoshima in a 1v2. It's not impossible, but the jig is up. Paranoia.
Oh, they got annihilated in this.
Yeah, my
annihilated. It was looking so good. 2v4 happens. Where's the 2v4 here?
After seeing the jump spot in the back of spawn,
everything
and
after
camera on the shed at the switch, you would think that most of the utility and most of the stall would now be towards the B site because you have a Silva and a Cypher back there. Yet they still wanted to go against the grain and fight against TSM's hold on that B site where a Proto just held perfectly with those one ways, and that's signature Proto back on the set back in like 2021 of how he was playing this map, on how he was playing these one ways.
Way to go out. Not that they're going out with
and
it,
getting
but
all those sheriff kills, which coined
I'm down for a Haven though. I said this at the beginning.
But that's
a Haven to finish this could be awesome.
On a great tear on the defensive half and have a great chance and a great cushion here to push us over towards the third map. And they want to work as a death ball towards A.
Isn't it funny how MxS have never won Sunset, then they won Sunset. Now TSM have never won Ascent. Oh man,
this poor Cypher back of sight. The only one that gets hit by the knife. Knife covers all of this.
The challengers, especially playoffs. TSM are a whole new team.
He did fantastic, dude.
From Fly to get that
great.
headshot too, to change target.
Oh my.
TSM breaking in.
Dude, look at the HPs, 2139.
Who at least holds his own. 3v3. Is it cost of blood, sweat, and tears for TSM? Everyone is tagged up, and MxS coming through tree, through the smoke as a team. And the spike is trying to be planted. MxS maybe want to try and prevent that. They sneak their way out, and MxS just win every duel when they get these surprising swings. And a Proto has to dance. Very sturdy block in front of him.
Okay, so it's 3-1 at the moment for Pistols. 1-1 on this map.
It looked pretty good for TSM to fight back.
I mean, that's the first step of doing this on defense.
MxS on the flood retake, so they decide to fight back towards the door. But back on a 2 versus 2, just seeing that a Proto was able to pull his camera up and watch through that smoke, but unfortunately his teammate, I think that was 7, still decided to walk down the generator, play outside, just outside of the radius of that smoke, kind of just isolated each of them where they couldn't really play the perfect crossfire here, and MxS was able to salvage at least a pistol round into their onto their side. And again, we talked about what used to be 100% in terms of
Vitality Talon game.
Now probably
yeah, I didn't. It was like one of the only 50-50s that I didn't go into like map picks, and it's mostly because I have no idea what Talon are doing.
Try to come back in the second half.
They have some weird. They got some weird comps they were using, and they haven't shown too much with Premier.
9-3 half though makes it there's
less of a yeah, I mean that one can go either way.
The net catches all these fish, but MxS can't even hook them out of the water.
It's not like this.
Out of TSM as they advance into A shortly.
Classics once again, but this A main position from Vic could be an important position for them to pinch back against TSM for the retake.
There is that pinch forming as Brock waits at the door. Fly to get into position. Vic to come through main. Make sure no one's in line. TSM are out in the open. And Fly is right above somebody. And Vic clears out hell from them.
Okay, handled it pretty well considering the first 2 deaths going down. That one got real scary though, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and that's where it starts.
I mean, it's costly.
Having that first person
it's
picked
straight up
up
costly.
out in the open towards hell allows Flyer to move out towards the top of heaven to take down the player towards generator. And that was the other thing too. There were 4 players alive inside the site for TSM. Whose responsibility was it to watch on the top of heaven? It was potentially going to be whoever was hell, but now you're stuck watching main and heaven at the same time. And MxS is able to salvage that round. That could have been another bad news for MxS if they were to get ego, just like they did on Sunset. And especially
only
with
one
the
person
lead
buying.
that
I'm
TSM
so
has
fine
built
with
so
this.
far, it could have been over right there. But we are able to breathe now, and we're able to reset things
so
around. The bonus
fine
round
with
comes
this.
out for MxS, and you want to try to potentially work a little bit more aggressively here. There's potentially a paranoia coming out from Vic. It's a one-way to start,
we got
and now there's no paranoia to follow
dedicated
suit,
Odin players.
Double Senti util all over B, thinking TSM have now failed twice to get into A. Surely they're going to try something else. Well, they're trying mid right now, while MxS may stack util on B, but all the bodies are at A. This could be another MxS pinch. TSM.
Okay, so good luck to Brock if they do hit this site, which looks like they're gonna hit this site. But he's got kill trip, then double.
Because there's someone else from TSM there. We have 2 running through main.
Oh my god, look at it.
The Odin stands tall against almost 3.
The fact that Flyer goes down here though, this kills everything.
Left the spike behind. This is delays that TSM cannot afford. But every
be a hard retake now.
Is another chance for TSM to take a swing. Finally having a successful plant is a start.
Dude, this guy got annihilated. Don't know how that came.
Shima still has the wall, but he's not going to use it towards main because that's where Mata is going to pinch in from too. And a dash is also available from Mata, so he might be able to activate this to try to find information.
What is this?
And GMD's aiming between the legs of Sim, so they play a reverse high-low. That's insane.
Dangerous game of leapfrog there. TSM know where the threat is coming from. And Mata and Odashima are going to push. Double swing at the same time. Dash into the smoke. Great distraction for Sim. But it's GMD versus Mata.
Whoa.
Time running out. And Mata gets
what the hell is that shot, man? He's got enough time as well.
And should have enough time to get to the sweep. It's going to be close.
It was an absolute shot, though.
MxS
that was fast.
retake.
And they pick up the Odin.
And that was
they're in a good spot. It's doable.
Retake with MxS to be able to go for the
Pistol
dash
and the
through
bonus.
smoke. You'll potentially see it through towards the replay, but that in itself just broke that high-low position that you just saw there from TSM, where everything was perfect until then. The ones isolated outside of the box on the top of the dice gets picked off, and there's nothing there that GMD could do because it gets walled off on the side. Where on the defensive side, Mata could still play back and forth. And it's quite surprising to see both duelists here at the bottom of the board, but it just comes to show how important it is for the support utility to step up to the plate for both of these teams in this matchup.
Dude, imagine they keep this one clean as well. This would be incredible for their money.
That's a great pick. It's the Odin getting that first blood for MxS, and Brock is built differently with this gun.
Surely not, my guy.
I've ever seen.
Goes for the ult.
Neural theft being invested by a proto in a 1v4 is a choice, but hey, if you can start to take away some of these guns, you can have a lineup advantage against your opponent, sure, but this doesn't seem winnable for TSM.
Juggling the weapons away too. Unfortunate there for a proto. But he's got the box sheriff again. Boom.
Whoa. Hold on. That second shot was so sick.
It's
well, it's winnable.
Okay. And he's got
it shouldn't be, but it's winnable.
Because he used that neural theft so early, he just doesn't know where Vic or Odashima are. All he knows is they're not anywhere near the site right now. So now he's trying to get timing.
Oh my god, if I was gonna hit it. Alright, that is a really nice try, man. Really nice try. That was insane.
I think he actually dinged Vix through the box.
Yeah, he did hit him.
5 HP remaining.
He actually did hit him.
Been a proto sheriff back once again, chat.
Bro, that second kill was insane.
But you talked about the econ damage that was going to be important if a proto could do it, and he definitely did so. 2 kills on top of that, getting a plant for his team, adding the bonus and 300 across the board for his teammates after that plant is huge right now for TSM to try to turn it back.
Yeah, I guess that's why he uses all. He's nearly back to getting another one.
Yes,
he didn't hit him, he was already low. Oh, really?
But after this op that comes out from Mata, if they lose this round here, their next buy is going to be so broken for MxS.
He hit Odin. Oh, okay.
Here for TSM to swing
I mean, he still hit one of them.
TSM, they haven't won a round on this half yet. MxS, double sentry really
it's
working out.
the comm special. Oh, we have a Gravnet on top of that? That's really cool.
Teleport. And geez, what a first blood for MxS to start this round. And now seeing their TSM want to fight for Tree. MxS get all
this is the thing with the Gravnet, man. The Gravnet combos with so much. Oh, that's so unlucky, bro.
Trying to get an op shot through Tree. Meanwhile, TSM have opened up Pizza. And with the recon bolt at MxS throughout, kind of seeing that TSM have cleared out of that area. And Sim has not moved from this position.
Just pinging out too. I think he knows that there's a sonic sensor there. So, or they want to try to walk across unless Sim gets his pick onto Tree.
Didn't care about that shock bolt. Oh, he just gets dwindled down. Brock is different with this Odin. I can't believe it. With an up holding an angle, Brock gets a win.
Melly, how we doing? Thank you for the 19 months. I appreciate you.
Was probably sticking out
everything's going well. Thank you for the tier 1.
He was able to pick him off there with that Odin. That was huge. But so far, MxS, the story of the last few rounds is the amount of times that they're getting first bloods in the first few seconds of the round 2. Great positions at the beginning so far on the defensive side for MxS.
Well, that'll do it.
Has been broken. TSM almost baited them into a false sense of security, and they only have 12 seconds left.
Yeah, guys, like, well, yeah, do they even ping the op knowing that he's gonna go for it?
Much else you can do.
Oh, it's looking good. Looking real good. TSM timeout.
Yeah, we were praising at least 7 on the defensive side as a KO, really holding it down for TSM. And this time on the defensive side for MxS Shopify, it is definitely Brock.
Pull that.
And unfortunately, a tech pause to come through to stop the momentum for a bit, but I think it's much needed, at least even though the teams can't really talk to each other. It's a great opportunity for TSM to try to reset at least how it started as a 9-3 half could potentially now become, once again, the good old 9-3 curse with how good the positioning from MxS have been in the beginning of these rounds. We've had first bloods towards Wines, first bloods from Brock on how he's been played the Hunter's Fury towards the Gelato, first bloods on the B side. Again, the defensive side, you're seeing that MxS really knows how to work their defensive side. And I stand corrected for one small thing.
I mean, they got no money for this.
For 145.
It'll be interesting to see what this guy will buy.
But nonetheless,
maybe still saving enough money for the Odin.
How much a Proto was able to
Nightmares with the tier 1. Thank you so much for the 2 months, bro.
But after these flawless rounds, first bloods, multi-kills out from MxS.
Tactical tech pause. There's definitely a tactical pause after this, I'm telling you.
I can't imagine being a TSM fan. The stress that you must be under. A 9-3 half, and that lead is going towards dissipating with MxS not.
One way to kill the momentum. The tech pause here, yeah.
Denying tree control, as you pointed out. First, second, whatever bloods through holding the left side of the map. Of course, the Brock. We have the Brock factor. Big Brock, as Desk called him, who dropped, what, 25 plus kills on Sunset to heading that direction again on this map. He and his team came so prepared, and you can't underestimate anyone when it comes to playoffs, especially TSM. But hopefully this tech pause clears soon, because I know MxS
the new promotion. Wait, what?
Yeah, 28 kills on that first map here for Brock, and 26 for Sim. And the story continues for Brock, but not for Sim at this point. But again,
for Twitch,
I don't think it's anything on Sim or Mata at this point. You're going into this game plan on this map of Ascent on how you could really try to avoid the aggression out of the Jet. Remember how many times we had ops coming out here from both the attack and the defensive side on both TSM and MxS.
That's pretty cool.
But there's really no true value coming out of it because they're doing a great job with their utility to try to snuff out where the Jet could be, push them away, and work in the opposite direction. And it makes it so much harder for you to retake the sites with an op. So both teams are really running great executions and defaults on their attack side to avoid these Jets to get so much impact.
Dude. And that's why, like I said before, it's pretty cool,
the supporting cast around it that really has to step up to the plate at this point. You need those anchored players to come through. You need the double swings to be on point here for the protocols on how you're taking map control on the attack side. And they've both been really good. It's just now on the defensive side for MxS. Well, we talked about it earlier on. They need to find ways now for TSM to just stop these
Rat with a tier 1. Thank you so much for doing that as well. Thank you.
MxS just gets
everyone's cashing in on the Apple TV thing. Dude, for 3 months, that's not too bad.
Littering the left side of the map with sonic sensors, barriers, trips, everything to make Sim's life so annoying. I mean, he's 7 and 13. I don't blame him. You dash in after having to already updraft to avoid some of the trips and some of the traps. And then
but I was going to say, we're going to actually see a timeout after this as well.
TSM will take this long break to finally get to talk to each other. Because this lead is slipping away.
I think that's the biggest thing, too, for both coaches coming in. Mac on the side of MxS with Otoshima as the IGL. For both Faded of TSM and Poise now taking back the reins of the IGL. It's been going back and forth between both Poise and GMD. But getting such a long pause, there's definitely some things here that the coaches have been thinking about of the state of the game so far. And that Faded needs this time now to express that and see how TSM could stop giving up these first deaths now against MxS. And right now it's just out positions, pushed forward as we have Vic sometimes holding towards the wine. They need to leverage this double initiator utility and composition that they have for TSM to really try to find if there's early aggression anywhere at the very beginning, because that means it's weak side on tree if they're pushing out towards A main. It's weak side on middle if they're pushing out towards B. So they really need to leverage that a little bit more and then maybe try to leverage a proto on these lurks.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's just from yesterday, Bacon.
With MxS having Brock so good with the Odin, it makes B site just so unattractive for TSM. So you go towards A, where you can't even get control of tree, and that's just step 1 with all the sonic sensors and all, like we said, the Odin.
Like we said, just a low buy. We get a hero gun into it, but the person with the hero gun has no armor. We're gonna throw this over, or are we?
So TSM have had no advantages to work with, not a lot of first bloods in their favor. And now they have a broken buy where they'll have a neural theft, and a proto is pulled off almost some miracles.
His money, I guess.
In a 1v4 using that, so.
Well, I like this camera, looks nice.
It starts off
the most common angle is going to be blocked by the archway.
To see towards a catwalk push, a recon dot towards the market very early at the same time. Although, unfortunately, here for TSM, this is a lower buy. They have only Sheriff Stingers and a Hero Vandal right now for 7 to try to work the map. They're just going to wait out this wall as it gets weakened down with the decay, and then going for the full exit right after.
What is this,
they
fake?
just gave a tell where they're all at.
Yeah.
With the drone?
Also costing some bullets too to do that. So an early barrier.
Drone goes out, but Drone's gonna see the camera here, so he's gonna have to go break the camera. Otherwise, he knows for sure that no one's following it up.
To disjoint TSM, to cause chaos. They may thrive in it.
No break of the camera. These three are gonna stay strong.
There is the presence. There's a knife. TSM.
Boy.
Get ran down by an op. Mana's unstoppable behind.
Yeah, and they know where the drone came from. Okay, so at least hopefully here with the information they can talk about this camera and they can make a plan to go break it. There's a world where this camera is too high, but I'm pretty sure it hit the trip, so
there was any pressure from the op towards A main or towards B, and you really can't know on the B side because you've already used your camera on top middle, so you're just going in blindly, and that's Mana going
back to 9-9. What is this, 6 in a row?
When you're actually given a chance here for the op and the jet to get value, well, that's the result that you get here on the receiving end for TSM. And thankfully here is that they know that MxS still has this op.
Dude, I'm worried with this position that they're not going to go for this camera. I'm telling you, this camera's getting great info
by trying to
all
figure
the
out where
time.
this offer could be. Camera once again finally spots Mata. Will this be a pivot for TSM to fast work towards the A site? Can't. Stop by wall.
2 people here.
Like, okay,
about to be 3.
Giga Chad last round. Let's try this again because TSM failed to get trees, so they're just gonna flood in from one side. And there's the Blade Storm from Sim dueling up against Mata.
Dude, Mata has to get another.
And TSM put a good dent into
Proto double?
Mata is above those. Still with
Crispy, man.
with the backstab who came from
Yeah, this is a nice hit, but the only reason it managed to work really was Sova ult the guy over towards default. The guy over towards default had to dodge it. It went out into the open.
It's planted. And Fly gets a ping and just hopes the wall bang, but it's a late position. Change. And TSM
okay, I don't think they can repeat that.
On the pulse plan
I'm pretty sure.
Lock down Fly and not give a chance here for Fly to get any value or even
I mean, this will help
lose
though.
more weapons in the process for TSM. But
that was a lot down to the
Sova
Sova ult. I'm pretty sure.
Veto was cooking up here. They figured out that the op was towards middle. Let's fast
and
MxS
here still have the camera over towards B, so they have so much info. And all they're gonna do is just they must have some kind of punish of A main.
And then probably gets the late lurk right after that gets a double kill on the top of heaven. So everything worked out to perfection. But now MxS using their last time out to try to counteract, not give the momentum back here for TSM. And a Proto, I mean, again, stepping up to the plate at this point. We talked about the civil war between the moist moguls.
I mean, this is an early timeout though. This is like just one round loss.
Against Vic, Brock,
the change up. And this is kind of like back to back where they've seen this cage over towards A main and dealt with it. So they're at least going to change up that part of it. I don't know if they're going to do like a full switch or if it's just going to be like a little micro change.
MxS on top of that.
But that took in a Proto flank through glass to really catch MxS's defense. That was the first.
If I'm MxS here, I still keep the side from B.
In this half, they're gonna have a ton of.
I think they're switching out. I mean, they're probably just doing an anti-KO to be honest for a little bit.
But that took a big play out of a Proto. So, okay, it worked out.
I mean, what a comp to do an anti-KO when we got 2 people that can be either sides.
That was the only time.
Sorry, where are we? 2 people that can be side of a map and have their util on.
And they'll still try to do it though. The slip up is around what information TSM's getting and how they fast tempo through it. But this time, you're seeing that MxS are not being as aggressive at the get-go towards middle, because they've actually posted up Mata into A main out towards the wine. And this gives a chance
to
the
aggro cams
really
they're
work the map towards middle. Lots of utility being used at the very beginning by both initiators. But they haven't really gone too much information on their side. Neither did MxS, because they're playing very passively. Look at how they have to watch the crosses all the way back towards spawn, because their camera is being used towards main, so they have no real information on if TSM's really working middle or not.
Well, Sim is in see something, say something.
Yeah, and this was the big change up though. Something over towards A main as well.
Nothing standing in his way.
Imagine they popped the KO early. No, most teams wouldn't, but...
someone in line
Oh, he is in trouble.
His presence is detected.
Bro, he's really in trouble.
There, but not where. And he didn't get the initial
Hey, what's coming in?
With the blade storm. Mata has to go big here. He's not going to get any backup, and he couldn't take anyone.
It's weird to do an anti-KO and then have someone so committed they could get wrecked from a KO.
They stole back in their favor. The null command popped by 7 as TSM surge in.
That's GMD.
Couldn't play off the smoke. GMD is different.
Okay.
And TSM.
Well, it is that drive-by. Yeah, that felt a little bit off, to be honest with you.
On the top of tree.
I will say though, back-to-back rounds where it's like all to help them get the rounds.
That goes out towards Wine was huge by 7. I was getting a little bit scared though because they weren't adding extra utility to really take down Mata. There was no
He shocked out that cam. The one that was over towards here, yeah.
They really just tried to leverage Sim updrafting.
They only discovered it the other.
But thankfully they still got the kill. Activated null command.
And it's weird because now they've changed like their whole actual setups. But we still still using the cam in middle. I'm telling you, this can get them so much info that they can like perma have 3A.
Main control for TSM. And the knife also clearing out towards Wine, and TSM are looking at Temple very quickly once again towards A.
Oh my goodness. He got he got hit by a trip and the
answer. The rest of Sim's team was blocked off by a barrier thrown by Otoshima.
Crouching
and now with the net 2 from MxS, they've really slowed down TSM. And when you don't have a jet, it's gonna go even slower. From the shadows from GMD isn't gonna stick it because MxS, they've already downloaded this strat.
Oh boy. Gotta get one here.
Walk in.
Uh-oh.
Now the smoke has dissipated.
Okay.
Just
that counts.
Odin, just through bullet hell, MxS have to stay firm. But it's TSM that outnumber them, outfire them.
3 chances now.
12 to go to match point.
Match point now for TSM.
Dude, I feel like they can they not just stack A way heavier than they are with this camera? They keep doing the camera, but they keep having 3 over like only 2 people here at the beginning.
This is a nice attempt. Look at the trips being set up all the way up towards generator and also towards the boxes to stop any type of updraft dash that pulled a perfect slingshot to catch the dash.
Yeah, that guy got util dumped heavy.
But everybody else just behind. 7 with the Odin, getting all of these kills. And then the ult from GMD, even though it wasn't stuck, it saw 2 players out of 4 towards spawn, which once again,
TSM thinking that
numbers to
what I was saying, that they might just start free here because
this
the camera here makes sense.
For MxS to
oh my god, that's a sick recon.
And potentially push this to another overtime.
I hit all of them, right?
They need a lot of rounds here for TSM before ults come back, but they only need 1 to close the map.
Oh,
there's a chance for how they're playing it hit 4.
I just spotted.
Not all of them.
I'm not sure, but
Jack Door, thank you so much, man. 23 months as well. Nearly the 2 years, bro. Appreciate the prime. Thank you for all of the support, man.
Every round, and now 7 has to match it too. So if Brock were to unleash, well, 7 would give him a taste of his own medicine. And TSM don't have a lurk of a proto going somewhere else. So a lot of map control of TSM is being given up just to really reinforce this flood right through main as TSM Sim
oh boy.
Oh my.
Oh boy. Good luck back of sight. Flyer's gonna kill 3 or 2.
Get a single pick.
Preferably 3. 1.
TSM walk in, put its fly in the closet.
Nightmare, man. Yeah, that's way too hard to do.
TSM have the numbers, doubling the forces of MxS. TSM
okay, well, at least we're going Haven.
For the win. At
least we get a Haven.
They can send us into our deciding map.
Dude, MxS are gonna feel acted on this one though. Like a lot of their attack was brutal, and even just the changes up here, it felt like it was doable. Like it just got to the point where it felt doable, and then they just lost every round.
But with the recon, he'll know when he swings and where. And now time is running out as Vic had to deal with that recon bolt, and well, he does a good job. Now there's only 2 in the smoke, but he has to kill them here and now, or this defuse made up impossible.
That's not enough time.
But how does he have enough time?
Oh man, so unlucky, bro. It's so unlucky.
Of their team just like yesterday.
Okay, But they, I mean, they kind of deserve this. MxS, they just messed up way too many rounds.
Where TSM could potentially win a
And we get a banger map at the end for a Haven, so that's not
so many numbers at an advantage and just let that falter. But thankfully, they had a 6th player in the roster, and it was the timer of that spike, which allows now TSM to push this to a
Sims,
third map.
see you in a little bit, dude. See you in a couple of days.
Into a BO1 on Haven between TSM
yeah,
and MxS.
Bacon was telling me about it today, Des. That's so
Mexico.
brutal.
And TSM and MxS are both 2-1 on Haven, so this.
What are they playing for? Ascension. So trying to get their route into tier 1.
Upset after already knocking out Oxygen. Are they truly the
best of 3 yet? Yeah.
Of North
best
America?
of 3, no best of 5 for this.
We gotta throw to a break.
It is all coming down to this last map.
We're from the desk, and we're gonna decide who's going to Ascension.
Yeah, it does feel brutal having this this much your year. The best of 3, but at least it was double a limb, I guess. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit.
Oh, we're keeping it spicy in challengers today. TSM against pretty unlikely odds to take down the second map of Ascent. A little bit of troublesome map for them for a while to take us into a map 3 to find out who is going to be moving on to Ascension and who gets eliminated. Don, I mean, this was crazy.
Crazy indeed. I mean, we've come to expect the scrappiness from TSM, but this was a much cleaner map from them. A nice solid 9-3 defensive half sets them up for an attack side that started to look a little scary towards the beginning. MxS getting that pistol, starting to build that momentum, getting several rounds in a row, but good timeout from the side of TSM. Really locked in, honed in on some weaknesses on the A site, started to scale and take that A main zone and bust down
it all comes down to
A site really effectively, and that really set up for the TSM victory there. So really well done by TSM, a lot less dirty than we typically see from them. These guys were looking on point. I mean, Sin with that rifle, or I'm sorry, with that sniper rifle was just looking insane. Really hard to contest with that when you're trying to enter onto the bomb site and he's looking down the operator scope at you.
Yeah, honestly, really even in the head-to-head between the Jets, but neither of them actually has a key impact outside the start of the round. I mean, Sim and Mata are involved in like 10 and 11 first kill, first death situations, respectively. So, you know, the rounds are definitely starting off between those two Jets, but I've got to say, for a team that is as scrappy as TSM are and love to take these duels, their clearing protocols on the attacking side were really good. It took a little while to get them rolling, but because they had such a solid defense, mostly because of a proto being basically unkillable over on that A side, they've just got to win themselves like a few rounds. And I love the way they get onto A main. They really hammered that site. They put a lot of pressure on Odorous, who's playing by Gen, and a couple of times they cleared out Mata for free.
Gonna go to champs? Nah, we'll just watch it from here.
Or, you know, trying to play around sort of one ways that were thrown up towards Tree here.
A pretty,
so TSM looked
pretty nice time zone,
very
to be
well
honest.
drilled, and this is another map that is, I'd say, made its way back into the
early-ish morning.
Ascent can always have that volatility of just, you know, what team sort of turns up.
We'll do a champs at one point.
Here, individuals really ruled the roost.
Wait.
But it's another
Wait
situation
and see which ones are close.
Mata is taking a back seat to the rest of his team. Again, it's Vic, Brock, and
Derek went to Turkey to watch champs. Yeah, that's a good time zone for it, right?
It just wasn't enough to get them over the line. Their A hold was really flimsy. And I think there's a lot to be said about, you know, getting good value out of that deadlock on defense. As much as she is a sentinel, Don, we really feel like she's very powerful in those post plants on the attack side, but you have to time her util so well when you're defending with her.
In theory, Slimmetry. In theory.
One less info gathering agent, replacing them with a sentinel, and it can be hard to do that safely and to make good rotations with that composition.
Shoulda with the prime, thank you for the 16 months. Thank you for doing that, Shoulda. Appreciate you.
That deadlock pick. So your rotations have to be on point.
You're in NA for this? Yeah, probably the worst time zone for you, this one.
Utility. It's strong util, but if you're not using it at the right time, it could be really, you know, just useless for you.
I do want to say, too, that I definitely thought for a little bit once we got into the side swap that MxS were kind of looking in a nice spot to be kind of closing things out. But as soon as TSM got their variants, they really did not let go of them. And Uber calling back to 1 round 2. They're so aggressive.
Nate
MxS,
as well.
like,
Nate, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the 6 months also. Thanks for your prime money as well, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Thanks for doing that.
Very straightforward. It's a play
Is the new map all kind of good for Paper X?
0 point stuck in wine. This is, again,
minus Icebox. Really, I mean, that part's good. Minus Lotus. Like one of the maps they're starting to get down.
Otoshima really struggled to play from Gen effectively because quite often Sim is dashing onto the side and trading himself out quite happily after, for example, in that round they got a free kill essentially.
Their map pulls always a little bit.
Just to wash away the side.
The problem is Ascent exists. Any good Silver map, they kind of struggle at.
Plays happen with the Gravnet because they're playing quite passively and they're not really fighting for that A main outside of, you know, Mata maybe hoping to catch some people and dash in. As soon as, and look, that 0 point to wine is pretty common. It's not the standard one that you throw, but it's going to get mixed in, you know, here and there on a couple of rounds. And that's a round that Mata makes a big investment in getting the operator. And that's when things really start to fall apart. TSM find an opening to pivot into some attack side round wins, get 4 in a row and take the map.
I mean, we'll have to see for MxS if they can kind of pull themselves together now looking at map 3 in the series. Because reminder,
spend the last 2 hours going through Visos, your pick'ems.
To get nothing. Winner will
be
going
for
100%,
bro.
TSM starting over
no
on
one gets
100%. Back at MxS on this map, it's
2 stacks.
Kind of something that I don't know. There's been a lot of kind of
and you're too China pilled, bro.
Here or there, which I think for me,
like one of the China teams will let you down.
This is now your chances of moving on the line.
Yeah, they're clearly, you know, trying a couple different things, seeing what's going to stick for them. You know, that's pretty common for these guys, but I think in particular they've shown a willingness.
Like, I've underestimated the Chinese teams. You've
duels on
overestimated.
agents,
To
right?
get
They
the
obviously
perfect
trust
one,
them
we'd
a
have to
lot,
combine, basically.
to get the job done and be a utility that they can use for the team, no matter what agent he's on, and it shows a lot of faith there, right? And I think that's something that is translating through. You know, he obviously is coming into the finals with some of the highest, if not the highest stats in all of the tournament. So this is a guy who's dangerous on no matter what agent he's on. And then on the other side, you have TSM, who, you know, we don't really know what they're going to run. They played a Haven match early in the season, but they've obviously been working on their map pool. They were banning Haven for a while. Now they're not banning it. They've been floating it. You know, what are we going to see? Is this going to be the same old that we've seen from them before? Or they could be something new.
We'll have to find out. We won't have to wait for long. Agent
Interesting.
Select coming on up. For the big decisive map. It's all about who can be showing up on the day, who can be performing, and then, okay, it's going to be TSM back on the Neon.
Yeah, this is definitely
Get in the Neon. Okay, so we got old school against kind of new school just with Neon.
In the past, and they did, you know, link it up with the breach. So some of the ideas are going to be.
But honestly, this guy in Neon, I'm in for it every single time you can.
With TSM in their last matchup against Blinders, they had great defensive rotations, won 8 defense rounds against that team in order to take the game away. But this is a return to their old comp.
Yeah, and I'm curious.
They used a different comp last time.
What is old if it's going to be gold now? And reminder, map 3. It all comes down to this. Map picks have been exchanged, but who can perform on Haven is going to be coming out on top and be moving on to Ascension for the last time today. Back over to Vance and Lemon to take us through.
Thank you so much, Sierra. I'm so glad I am comfortable in my blacklight chair. I am sat and ready because Sim is on Neon, and you saw the work, the Lord's work that he did on Sunset. I'm so ready.
Lemon Kiwi, what does it look like? The chair is tiny for me, and yours is like XXL size.
Well, you know, they gotta treat a queen, right? They gave you the good one. They gave you the travel.
But no, jokes aside, this is definitely going to be a very important game, because definitely going into the do or die
raid boss. I was going to say no raid boss, but we get a raid boss.
MxS,
we got armor
and Sim going back into a Neon for the composition for TSM. They played this
7
in the past,
drop
but they have a double initiator to
Ghost.
support
No
Sim
drone,
but
if you're on defense, kind of fine with that. It looks like we're going aggro, 4-person push middle with a recon here to get info, and we're going straight into C, retake C. It's going to be a 5v5 retake, right?
For the floods is going to be okay on how Sim brings out the playstyle of this Neon. But MxS to start things off, a walk contact on the top of the C site, where it seems to be a flood retake that's going to happen from TSM from a flank as well.
Kind of a weird trip.
Well, that's one. Yeah, nice kill trip on this one. Dude, no one broke the trip as well. Tell me that doesn't get another.
MxS running the same comp that they won against Blinn with after having so many iterations of what MxS wanted to run on this map. This is the one they gotta stick it out with.
Oh my god, that was kind of sick though.
Knows there's people behind. The dominoes fall, but there's only one remaining. It's Odashima on the post plant. Recon gets taken out. TSM stopped their way forward.
All right, we are at 3-2 in terms of pistols.
And what a moment for TSM to
obviously
pop
1-0
off
for this
and
map.
win the pistol round here in this third map. Pretty much a storyline of how TSM has been playing throughout the stage 1 and stage 2 to this moment. Always in the mid pack, always potentially the Giant Slayers, but never took them down. Was always able to take a map, never take series at this point. But now when it matters the most, going to the playoffs, they knock out the top dogs like OXG, and they're able to make it through now at
one
this
sheriff.
point. To get even
That is it. We got
to winning into map number 3
wait,
against
really?
MxS, and it starts off well with that pistol round.
Over
And
towards
with this
A as
second
well.
round,
I was
they
thinking
do not
maybe
want to relent.
maybe a garage with
Potentially
it.
another walk down, but it's a smoke instead for the choke to start things off. And 2 players just holding down towards B. So we're weak side towards A for TSM, and it's a great start for MxS if they want to continue to tempo in this area.
It's gunning it
One
down
of the classics.
mid. Even Psycho said, like, both these teams really trust in their duelists to.
So they play a straight up retake here though, so they're gonna get a plant. It's not too bad.
Sim back on the Neon, let loose. He wasn't checked on Sunset. He's gonna see what he can get away with this map. His boys catches someone peeking, but there's a lot more around the corner.
It's actually pretty good damage on this one. They're gonna get the plant as well, extra money.
That's funny.
Gonna get all of their util out of them.
2 bodies. TSM.
Pick up a bulldog as well. Has a drone. Has shock.
And Sim with high gear. He really
I mean,
wants
it's
to
kinda doable.
And I guess the one-way works out in favor of MxS as they can just wait and see.
Oh, what an absolute shot, bro. That's a great eco though, no matter what, really good eco.
Proto once again in a clutch situation where we were a little bit discoordinated.
But that was scary. Playing retake against an eco like this one, and then they kind of didn't. They kind of let them get the guns and get out of there.
They had from the Bulldog, from Brock, almost won that there for MxS. In this eco that they had, only pistols coming through and a Proto. Sometimes it's not a sheriff, sometimes it's a ghost, and he'll still make it ring. So TSM able to stop the bleeding.
One of the worst bonuses I've seen all of the year, really, in terms of the buy, but at least they're bonusing. I think that is the play on this one.
Great.
A lot of NA buy believers.
TSM are that good on pistol.
This one, I'm fine with it. Let's see how much damage they can do.
This is how they kind of had such an advantage on Ascent, is having a 93 half and not giving too much of a buffer to MxS to really climb back. We'll see what kind of lead TSM can build as they hold their positions. Now 2 in garage.
Oh no.
Definitely hearing someone
no, you got the sheriff.
Side. And Sarah's wanting
Surely
to swing out of this. He's insane, and he didn't even get punished for that. Paranoia.
Wait, it's unbelievable.
And TSM.
Oh god, they had to use this overall.
But the Hunter's Fury as a retaliation there from Brock.
Bro, this is mayhem at the moment. This is kind of sick though. There's some guns down. I say guns. There's a gun singular down bottom middle. Oh, that's an overstep.
To get the pick onto Poise. So that stops the bleeding. A chance now for MxS to hold the post line.
And MxS are just all stacked on the site. They could be attacked from garage, the back site. The smokes are gone. MxS. Okay, who is looking at what? And Mata has the better shot. And they're just mowing down TSM, flooding in one by one. And it's just GMD. He's gonna make this expensive.
Damn, dude, get another one in you. Honestly,
like, it's taking down.
Good do it.
MxS leave. He's gonna tap this. And yeah, MxS are gonna just pressure him off.
Yeah, it's good enough though. They did great for this bonus. Considering they only had 1 gun into it, they did very good. 3 people that have to rebuy, so it's going to be 3 people that can't buy next if they lose it, and everyone obviously here is going to be buying, so it's a giant round.
This potentially could have been a flawless round for MxS because you only had a Guardian available for TSM around pistols. Because MxS did such a great job on that second round to keep the economy low here against their opponents. But that paranoia that slide and a double swing started everything, and also wasted out the early Hunter's Fury from Brock. So that's actually a big W here for TSM going into their gun round. They could afford to play with smaller shields here. As you can see, GMD, he has enough to buy full shields, but still wants to play small armor so that he could potentially buy or save for an off as soon as possible and give it into the hands of Sim. So keeping their economy right and going for a spray. 7 starts it off.
Yep.
And he re-peeks that.
Devastating way to start your big buy round.
MxS trapped and thought they were safe to move up. Now MxS will have to do
every single time we're just playing retake over towards A though, and this is interesting. They've cleared this so fast, and they're not expecting them insta straight on site. Like they create a lot of pressure that they were playing close and playing on site here, and MxS just did not believe it. In fact, they like to play off the site a lot.
MxS don't have a lot of time to waste. Now they can have a time advantage now that the spike is planted. And of course, Fly will be in position to flash once TSM walk in. Boys flashing from heaven as well. MxS.
That's poor guy in sight, man. My god, he's doing incredible. Well, he did so good on site here. Yeah, someone else had to do a little bit more because he managed to get 3 from default. Yeah, 1v1, and then we got the... Wait, the money's a little bit better after the plant.
I just had to... Oh, that made me jiggle. That made me chuckle a bit. Sorry about that, chat. But at least we're looking at how things started for the Flood retake for TSM. To kick things off with the fast lane, just to make sure that you waste enough time, give a chance here for your breach to get at the top of heaven. And
okay, is a low buy like we spoke about, but it is honestly a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. They got breach all, I'm not saying they should be using it, but they got it if it gets a little bit close. 3 people, they can't buy if they somehow lose it TSM by getting eco'd.
Perfect. And now MxS in a broken buy, potentially wanting to leverage this rolling thunder if they get an early pick. but they're definitely avoiding A site to start as soon as GMD smokes this out. So they're pivoting MxS towards a mid plant, which could be kind of good, though. I'd give this over to the Jet to go for a plant and a dash away, or to Vic, but instead it's a walk contact.
It's from a random peek from
they got the smokes.
Garage, as
they're going to be real tempted to use a breacher into this now.
Be alive from the other side, and MxS have found a way to fault line too when Sim and
there's the Omen. Oh, it clears out all the sight.
Now it's a teleport.
There's
from
the breach ult.
and kind of ran into something there at C to make MxS.
With the breach ult didn't make sense though.
Take control of Garage. Hunter's Fury from the defense to slow down MxS.
This breach ult makes sense.
They're almost all tagged up as MxS have no sense of comfort. Now the spike is dropped.
Oh boy, TSM absolutely owned this one, and MxS need to relax a little bit. They did an Omen ult over towards site, so they cleared all the site. And then on top of that, they then did a breach ult here. Then they had like what's the point in doing the breach ult if we got no one to actually like do anything for it? Was it buying you space into a flood that you would kind of want to happen if you had a smoke here?
Things have been going well for us for these
really
fights.
get that.
Up into a second or
They
a
wasn't
third
great.
cycle, so it's nice to use him
And they messed it up.
we
Dude,
can.
look at this guy
Especially when
go.
we're able to get a 4-1 lead so far.
These guys
And
having way
Seven
too much
already
fun.
putting his plushie on top of the camera. They're starting to feel it here. No pressure coming
Yeah,
out from
they're
TSM
feeling
into
confident.
map number 3.
I know Seven was like tweeting out some stats of like, oh, his plushie buff, like something about a plushie buff. I forgot what it's called. I'm not a true weeb, but I'm sorry. But you know,
Hit the relax, Bacon. You gotta agree with me there, though. They gotta relax.
MxS, like TSM are such a frustrating team to play against. They really bring out the worst in everyone else. Like you saw just how Oxygen couldn't even reach that peak because they kind of have to stoop to TSM's plan, which sometimes is just run and gun through the smoke. We'll see what MxS have discovered after this timeout. Trailing only by a few rounds, but definitely being thrown off, having to even go to Haven.
Good here.
But there's definitely 5 players in this lobby right now.
Big buy round.
That are
Big buy round
feeling the
timeout
pressure
before
of
it.
this third
Money's
map.
in the bin. Money's still low. That's the okay news.
When they played in the lower elimination last year in the VCL.
And this time they're going to show aggro. I say they're going to show aggro over towards A.
To try to qualify
It might have been some spray.
into this very moment. And that's Flya, Brock,
This time they want to fight over
and
towards A.
Otoshima. This time on the receiving end is Moist X Shopify, just like Moist Moguls before. Sim's looking for a fight, and
Bro, they are massively feeling it. Guys just swinging out over towards Garage late. 30 seconds into the round.
Go for a paranoia, and like Sim has been able to free peek and not get punished. This time, not so much. Drone up through Garage will reveal MxS. There's no one there, maybe. The back of spawn, and there's just been a lot of dry peaks that are resulting in MxS.
They should be able to lock this down without anyone dying here.
Of course, through short as well, clearing everything, and they've smoked off Heaven. So
look at all the util they got. No one should be going down.
Maybe even a save to move forward here for TSM. Their economy's quite low.
And that's one way to secure it as well. There's even the save goal here.
This is an important. These are
like I would prefer them to try and lock them in over towards spawn, but as we can see, this guy would wreck them. Like the save call here, as much as I normally hated this early on, I think it has to happen. Especially their money getting so low the round after. The most perfect round for MxS though. Like it can't get much better. They got one armor rebuy, not even that much util. Like they go rebuy this util. That's
the playstyle that Sim has with this Neon and how he played towards the sunset. Doesn't mind to peek out through smokes, through doors, because he could just activate the high gear and just dance away, jump away, even dash away if he needs to slide away. And this time MxS was ready for that. And that might change now the approach of how TSM wants to play the defensive side, though.
Just, you know, from the front.
Well, MxS are starting to figure out that TSM, like you said, like to go for those dry peaks. So MxS just patience is paying off, and this is how they can take back a couple of rounds, especially after that timeout. Worked out for MxS.
Okay, these two. Rough spot money-wise.
So TSM just got to dial
they could maybe do some kind of low buy or like force buy with the ult.
Unless you have some util or information to play off of. But that's not that's a slip up that TSM.
Definitely not going to be going that aggro over towards door again.
The usual Odin spray from 7 through A long that MxS sometimes like to fault line towards just to keep him in his place. And with that defensive smoke in place, MxS...
Nylock, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the 2 months.
Explore that
Thank you for using a Prime, dude. Appreciate
and now
that.
this forces a Proto just to fall back and play the retake towards the C side, especially when TSM are playing a weak side garage. They tried to set up a crossfire this time on the A pressure that MxS has been bringing in on the last second hits. So now that's taken care of. They know the hits towards the C site. They're still controlling the garage and the C mountain, so this is a free rotate, and they could have a flash flood retake right after.
When after you retake this one, you got no ults.
No paranoia. Shock bolts from Brock.
Whoa, Vic.
Some options.
You're a lunatic.
Your MxS to
That's insane.
keep TSM.
They have no idea. Radar. Surely this guy's on radar.
Finds a little crack in all the smoke, and he's above, and he'll get one for his troubles. But TSM have found a way into the site. Now that those defenders
He's great though. That was the low HP. Big 1v2.
It took a lot of time for TSM to re-enter, to retake, and now it's a 1v1 with Brock.
Oh my god, 30 HP, 1 extra bullet on this.
He was sapping there for Otoshima and almost got there. Almost got the kill after 7. But
this
it comes down to a full stick through the smoke. But I gotta give some
There's a nice
credit
retake
on
in the
how
end.
Vic tried to
it was
break the
close.
retake. The flood retake coming through. Sets his own one-way on the top and TP's on it. And that was not expected by TSM. Almost ran away with more than 1 kill. Unfortunately, playing the Vandal.
Bro, those last taps at the end.
As well as the Phantom, and that got immediately traded, and you saw how it all unraveled towards the end. But a nice little attempt, but at the end of the day,
Wait, how'd you know,
back and
Bacon?
forth for the last 3 rounds. This time, it's TSM taking the upper hand, and now taking the lead still by 3. And MxS going back to what kind of worked, hitting towards the A side and having better positions on the pulse plant where they don't have to play the long range spam and could play inside
That's
the
gonna be
site.
weird timing.
7 hasn't spammed A long, so the trip is broken. MxS checking for
Oh, who's that? Fly is a lunatic.
And you can't afford to lose him.
Flyer literally just said, I'm the duelist now, and just sent it in. And was just so confident that they were playing off site. TSM are wrecking them a little bit.
You cannot take him down.
Dude, they gotta. I'm telling you, they need to relax. There's so many decisions that are getting made. They're just so.
To hold the anchor on the
like you can tell they want to win so
and that's
bad.
Just off great utility as well. Passive.
So they're just doing.
Play
They're just not
Voto.
thinking sometimes.
A trip that gets broken, pulls up the camera, puts the cage down, and activates it so that 7 could actually have such a good position at that corner of the sewers and get that 4K in the round. And now MxS, I think they have to split a little bit better now towards the A side, or at least try to insert players into the minute mark down towards sewers if they want to try to hit towards the A side, because moving in blindly into these splits, they're running into heavy traps.
Here. Brock has a drone, and that's...
Dude, imagine they don't win this round as well. It's going to be really devastating attack
off. It doesn't matter, MxS just dash in, but they get hit by paranoia, so Mata will fall. TSM match the numbers, and the lockdown keep TSM from retaking anytime soon.
Oh boy.
And it pushes them to the edge, and Vic is gonna stick this teleport. And Sim knows what's up, and Vic doesn't have the HP.
Yeah, maybe staying alive. The one ways could have been the one. We've got to look at GMD. He's got double smokes.
Yeah,
dude, GMD is so committed even though he has double smokes. He sees the molly go through though. He knows they're the killjoys.
Yeah, and while Sim is trying to take some
oh my god, they are annihilating them right now.
Every gunfight. So it doesn't matter. MxS, the setup.
Yeah, and they got to go down to an eco. Well, let's think 2-4. 2-4 on top of this. Yeah, it's gonna be a low buy.
And Otoshima got caught with a knife in hand. I don't think he was expecting that TSM were gonna roll so quickly on the push out towards the attacker spawn to take him down.
The TSM are running away with it. Do double timeout in 1 half.
Especially now when you're looking at a map like Haven.
On attack, yeah, it's not a good time to remind you that it's pretty attack-sided. I say pretty, it's like a 7-5.
A lot of teams are kind of just trying to find new ways to approach the map at the very beginning, where you had potentially even fades coming back out, the neons being utilized. There's no double control. The Viper's out of the question now as well. So you're still trying to be at ease around the map, where now that you're approaching the map with a 3 site, it gives a chance here for IGLs to really work some better defaults and potentially bring this into a better attack side, just like Lotus, for example. But right now, TSM are the ones that are just able to find the right positioning to stop any type of hits that MxS is trying to take when they think they have good attack side calling to start. I mean, look at this. It's 7-2, and now you already have the second timeout being called by Mac. They have nothing left now for the rest of the game.
On their own.
Yeah, and you see MxS talk and just how important this timeout is to calm themselves down. Like we've heard so many interviews about composure and how important that is for decision making.
Dude, look at it.
For just
I'm worried about this. Or no.
Really
Let's hope we get a better decision with this breach shot.
And I see MxS being really stressed because this was not even a
Dude,
map
TSM, 4 people here. We going aggro? Are we investing the Omen flash into this?
Comp like this against Blinn. Well, we're running a fade on that.
Dude, it's a good change up from TSM. It may be a little bit too risky against the eco, but...
So this is not an amazing map for Moist. And as they run into A, they run into the same troubles of TSM playing a forward defense on A. It'll cost GMD and a Rolling Thunder as MxS tries to fight fire and run through A short to see if they can pitch them in.
Holy hell, dude, for a second there...
Started off well though. Vic
kind of thought he was on the other team. Not gonna lie to you.
From the recon to get the first blood, but 3 of them just got pinged out by the Hunter's Fury from 7. So they're gonna move in together. Yes, they'll get a plant, but they're gonna be weakened now in the post.
I mean, everyone. It's weird because everyone could kind of play off the side, but they don't have the guns for it, so you just delay for one person. Wait, that's a giant insta-dink.
And that is a big pick to catch Sim on the flank. He's been a menace to them before.
Yeah, guys, stop going for the good plant for long.
Odin from 7. That can just cause all chaos, and Mana just is barely gonna get away with this.
Making it happen like this.
Right at the end, and now
Guys, take some map control. You're killing me.
In his place, and he is pinged down. That's yet another successful retake out of TSM. That is what made them so deadly on Ascent in the first place.
Yeah, oh man, these runs are so devastating. Dude, TSM, they're just wrecking them.
This time in a 3 versus
1. They're making it look easy because some of the stuff that MxS is doing is making it easy.
In the next 2 rounds to be able to get more value, but if not, that the Hunter's Fury that started things off and that kick-started things. And I wonder if he actually did it on purpose to let Mata stick the plant because it was not planted for a long spray. So he could just tuck into that position and just diffuse it freely while his teammates are watching.
Yeah, 2 more chances to get 4.5 on attack. It's doable if you get like a pistol. Oh no, not this. Not this, I haven't seen this for a long time.
Light shield buys from MxS. And that's Fly's health being chunked out. He goes to repeat that.
Bro, they're bringing the Odin over towards Haven and it looks disgusting.
Position on the A side, and this Odin in Garage is a new look. But Sim in Garage looking for blood is nothing new.
What the hell was that? No way, that was a kill.
But it's not unwinnable for MxS. But now it's all up to Brock in a 1 versus 3.
Holy, they're getting so wrecked, chat. 9-2 on defense of Haven. It's an absolute slaughter.
No Broctagon this time around, no clutches coming through either. But
no, Odin on defense, man. He's died 3 times.
Onto Odoshima falling back into the garage. It just shows how
he's died 3 times.
Even fully stunned by his own teammate and gets a kill off of that. They're just vibing so far here for TSM, and they could do no wrong in this first half. With just fadeaway kills, kill through smokes, the way that they're just flooding back into the sites, and also finding perfect timings because they're swinging into moments where they should be able to get away with murder with the first kill. But change of pace.
Oh, what?
And the recon just cleared all the site,
the
right?
Ultimate punish. MxS
and they not go super fast?
With your business, they just roll it. Aggressive push into A. Hunter's Fury from
I mean, that'll do it.
The backside,
3.
And MxS will take full control and have all these re-entries smoked off for the moment. Now keeping Fly alive. Actually, he has no util left. From the shadows there, activated from GMD. Won't stick it. MxS playing from main and also on the site. Mata at a close corner hold. TSM have shot close. They have a paranoia. There's GMD throwing it out. They get smoked off. The timing of that was huge for Vic. And MxS scrap their way through. And they weaken TSM down to their last person. And it's 7. That was in a 1v3. And now 2 left. Oh, that's menacing. Gets it halfway.
I didn't want to speak for all of that because it was getting a little bit close. 3, man. Okay, they actually have to get pistol bonus.
They had the utility
and
there for the pulse by
maybe
MxS. They were looking at a good
if
spot.
round also in terms of that buy round, we'll see.
On the quick tempo that they added into sewers.
Zero Sanity, thank you with the 4 months, man. Thank you.
And not allowing, I think it was Sim on the up there to
of course,
get true
man.
value,
Same here. Thank you so much for the support, dude.
And then MxS just caught so many players off guard right after that because they were a little bit in different positions there on how they were holding the defensive side on that A side. So thankfully, they stopped the hemorrhaging, they stopped the bleeding. And this is a 9-3 half in favor of TSM, reminiscent of the first of the second
raid
map,
boss
rather,
for people that aren't following the pistol or can't remember. It's 3-2, 1-0 for this map.
You really had to bring that up, that 9-3 half for TSM, but
was it a curse?
Get back on. It could be cursed.
Cage trigger.
TSM on the attack this time.
Massive.
Standing ahead.
MxS. Is
if anyone disrespects the cage.
Shield, or are they going to want to just fire as the cage drops? I'm realizing TSM aren't there. It's a lot of right side map control for MxS. Their KJ util in B.
20 cage lineup, yeah, is the death one.
So MxS gambling to stack the right
is
side of the map.
Indignitas.
TSM storming into B with no smokes to protect their planter or to protect themselves from getting pinched from all sides. As well, TSM completely abandoned B.
I mean, they got too many on site.
And vulnerable they are. They pivoted to C right into Bo3, who couldn't win a gunfight. But now that MxS are united,
nice shots.
with 3.
Well, stage 1 was getting the pistol.
Around for MxS.
That was stage 1. In terms of the pistols, by the way, 4-2 out of the whole best of 3.
Ghosts being purchased, and the delay was really good to keep TSM off the plant. And as you mentioned, with no use support utility to get
reckon there's a chance Artis gets signed again? Yeah, for sure. The thing with Artis is, like, you've always got to have someone like him in a team that, like, makes every day like really fun. He's a hype man and he makes every day really fun. If Artis gets a trial, majority of the time, if it's like the right like role for him, he'll probably do very good.
Full classic save for TSM. This once again,
especially when you're doing like 7 days a week, 6 days a week, like one person that is like highly skilled and he's good and like keeps vibes up is very important. He's also an incredible player. I think he's very heavy reliant. I told him about this like all the time in Fish 1-2-3. He's an hours player. He doesn't put hours into the game. You start seeing some Sage walls and some Sage team slows. If he plays the game low, you start seeing some 1v3s when he's in the corner of Ascent. Like he's an hours gamer. Like if he puts hours into the game, I genuinely think he's like one of the best. But he has to put a lot of hours in.
TSM are gonna see if they can collapse onto these defenders and see while they know where they are.
Okay, relatively clean though. Relatively clean.
At least a 3K.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling it right now for MxS Shopify. Holding on the anchor, holding on the C side, but that's 2 times that TSM have been working towards this side and sees that it's an Omen and KJ being set up on this C plant. So now they go for a tempo into the A site. With an Odin in the hands of 7.
This guy can't stop using an Odin. On attack? What's he doing? Just spamming doors the whole time? Or does he literally just spam this the whole time and you never have to peek?
But they are
what are we doing? What are you using this Odin?
Slows down.
I gotta use the Omen flash onto the spawn.
Does he cross that threshold? It's TSM just winning the battle, at least for A short, while MxS gonna make a good dent into A long. As Brock with an SMG sees someone in sewers and just, well, the SMG's not gonna win that. The drone to see how pushed up he is. And Brock has to wait for Otoshima.
He's so dead.
Rotating from B. TSM have a one-man advantage, and with that and the Odin.
Wait, this guy got double. Oh boy.
Otoshima at least
Odin?
some work done.
Odin, he goes to the double angle or he can spam through the wall no matter what. Solid. Gets his ult into it as well. Okay, so it's no bonus, but they at least did enough to make sure that if they win this, it's a reset.
He knows he
and
still
4
has a lot
people
of time
can't
to work
buy.
with. Decides to back up.
But still kind of doable.
Watch the angle against Otoshima.
Maybe. Problem is this.
And then
I mean, the real problem is just this guy in general. Like 22 to 6 is ridiculous. He's reckoning with an Odin. Most people don't play Odin on this map. So we can Odin as well. We get an Odin just to try and break him his spam that he does as well. Sorry, his shock that would break the normal alarm bot.
Bit of holes in the armor there from the Odin of Brock.
Okay, I mean the Sova ult is everything here. Steve with a Sova ult is the absolute classic of just Valorant in general, especially Haven. What a recon, man. Oh my god, the recon even scanned these guys back here.
Incredible in the fragging department for MxS. Brock down to 25 HP, plays off the paranoia, makes the call to Brock.
Oh man, please don't turn this map into an Odin map as well, man. Please, Riot. I know, like, I love that you're changing Sunset, but maybe in that 9.0 patch, or was it 9.8 patch, whatever it is, just a little Odin enough.
You already have to walk across.
Some kind of, just some kind of speed of the fire rate.
There's nowhere that TSM could go so far unless they win these fights.
Push by force. Mata makes his way behind. The Odin is dropped. Like you said, TSM are pinned. They were hoping to just shoot through some of these walls. They would have gotten the pick onto that member in garage. And make the job a lot easier, a lot more doable. Now it's just a proto. But MxS can use every round they can get. 1v3 now.
10 seconds left.
What is this, man? Oh, for God's sake, bro. He's doing so much damage. He did incredible. He actually did incredible.
I was going to say, they can't really hunt down these kills so far. Well, I guess after that, they are able to salvage an Odin and an Operator. So they could still have a pretty decent buy around. But if not, losing an extra player as they were trying to hunt him down, that would have been very dangerous going into this round. But at least there's one thing that's really good for
I made
MxS
that crazy
so far
expensive.
Is
a lovely timeout to have.
On the C-side.
Oh, he's 23 and 7.
Right now for TSM, with the amount of times they've been attempting to hit towards the C-side and get fully denied by Vic, they might start thinking about working different parts of the map, going back into a B hit, going back into an A hit. But what this means is that you could start stacking more players around for MxS to heavy hold in those areas, because you kind of know that Vic could just get a 2 or 3K because he's just feeling himself towards the C site. So TSM now, that might be a call for them. It's like, okay, well, or we try to figure out a way to really take down Vic, or we have to work a different part of the map. And MxS, I think they're ready for this one.
7 is so locked in. 23 kills after 16 rounds. Are you serious? Really clutching up for the team, because sometimes it really does come down to not playing A, not playing B, but the all-out scrap that happens on this site when all the cards are on the table. And TSM, we said they're this chaotic team because
team to win America's Ascension. I haven't watched enough of the other teams, but you would imagine M18.
But MxS only trail by 4 rounds. And TSM have both their, I think both their timeouts. Well, after that one, only
it's
one,
pretty.
but,
I mean, I need to look at some of those other teams really.
And they're gonna try and overcome yet another top team in challengers. Hopscotch play from Sim. He's done that before. Now the fault line coming from a short gets the attention of MxS, who all stacked in here with all the util.
Holy hell, there were so many breach flashes within the space of 5 seconds.
Flash. Beautiful stuff out of MxS, and now the smokes to keep them divided, to slow down TSM, to maybe even divide them. But a proto still needs a body to use that neural.
I mean, it's just a low buy, so we need to focus on the next one. You saw my pick'ems today. You said that Paper X will win against Foot because of Sunset, but couldn't Foot just ban Sunset? Dude, Foot's that would leave the Haven open, man.
But
I don't think the Haven's great.
Got value on what, 4 pings on a top of long at long A. And that was huge here to allow...
That would leave Icebox and Haven. But honestly, the map pick ban might be a little bit weird for Paper X because they're not great at Haven or Icebox. So it could be a thing.
On a mid-C split. So, an interesting call. Mata might be able to swing out with this op. Can he punish one here?
MxS realizing just the deadliness of TSM's...
Would Paper X ever pick an Icebox?
If they
yeah, true. Maybe I didn't proper think that through.
Don't even want to let them set up in the first place. So MxS just with these peaks, especially from Mata, keeping TSM at bay. But now that the smokes are up, you don't know where TSM are, and they could easily re-peek.
It's a good start though, because the dash got activated here by Mata, although he didn't use it to dash away. So for TSM, they don't know where the op is at yet. There's still an element of surprise here for MxS, but there's no real, I could try to dash, get through a smoke in a pick. So TSM can now leverage.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of A pressure here, but
initiator utility to try to rework the map. But
problem with this is this guy's going to get out of here. After he gets this, he's going to get
a good opportunity for a pick.
It's an important position for Mata to hold, knowing TSM would love to see
and this
Sight
guy's
so
just
much.
dead.
Put the KJ until on defense there, and Mata pushes out. There's just too quiet in mid. And now drops the up, gives it to TSM, and they've planned it for B. And they just are not going to hold inside the site. And this MxS paranoia gets no one. It's clear, and around this corner is GMD.
Yeah, I mean, this one is impossible. 11-7. They kind of need to do some damage to reset. I mean, this will good help. Okay. 3 people that can't buy if they lose the next. It's doable still.
And MxS, we're
yeah,
never
TSM, I mean, this is it. This is a big round
here. Flanker being a pro that you just called.
Do I enjoy my job? Isn't this? Yeah, dude, I love this.
So a bait and switch for him to just be the final nail in the coffin to secure the round for TSM.
I love it.
Should somehow 7 with the way that he's been playing so far. Didn't win that fight against the superstar.
Yeah, you might be right about the Paper X thing. The more that I think about it.
But that swing out from Mata. We talked about no dash.
You have Paper X going to bind Lotus, Haven, or Abyss.
Gives the neural theft again. Great information out from
Won't be Haven 5 man. It'll be bind Lotus Abyss if they change their veto. Depends, man. It depends what on earth Paper X are gonna do in this short time for some of their stuff. They're that one team that can change like one agent and it just fixes a map.
A side. So even though you get nothing,
yeah, you're right. I might have done the map pick wrong on that map.
He still has the recon,
matchup.
Still has the drone. If anything, now TSM have to re-drone and re-clear this whole area.
NeuroKF doing that. Late owl drone though got dispensed at the minute mark. They can't really re-clear towards the A side because of that owl drone gone. So they're going back into a mid to C hit
back
on the
to
side
back.
of TSM. Maybe trying to bait out and waste out Killjoy utility. Good enough for a full.
Dude, look at this alarm bot. It's following him around
B. Yeah, alarm bot chasing top 2. Yeah, Sim just got to do Tokyo.
That was nuts.
The site.
It made it to the back of sight.
On the post play and Flyer peeks it. Thinking he got something off the flash, thinking he had the advantage and he had nobody to support him. Defenders locked down now from Motoshima to help MxS reestablish the middle of the map.
What a big jewel, man. This guy's gonna kill him. Wait, he omen flash. He knows where he is. Wait, why did he omen flash that?
No way.
He'd gone all the way around the world and he omen flashed it.
Oh, man. 1 round away from ascending. A team
5 chances as well, bro. They are in an incredible spot.
And went for the lower bracket run, beating SAT Esports, beating collegiate team Blinn, but then with the biggest upset
Oxygen and MxS, that's impressive.
To do the impossible by also upsetting another top Titan, being Moist X Shopify on this map of Haven. It all comes down to this.
TSM went on a run. Yeah, they really did.
Storm around
they
rifles,
really did.
small shields, and a rolling thunder for MxS, and 5 chances to move in and win the series for TSM.
And will it be MxS falling over their shoelaces right at the finish line, just like they did last Ascension? TSM 1 round away, and it all comes down to this. Mata couldn't get a pick.
Oh, the off angle.
And MxS
Ooh,
didn't send more with them, but at least it's a win for Vic. Pushing up through C, catching GMD. No paranoia, no smokes from TSM. Just working on that right side map control. And now realizing there's someone around here, Flya. Still is a rolling thunder. His life is so important for MxS.
You kind of have to play on site, right?
He's down
because
to 33, almost got punished out of
is
that
he
one.
not just gonna get a breach right and we're not just gonna get the Sova over plant? And is this not just an impossible retake?
Might now give a chance here for TSM to just lock down util and ults for the pulse plan, especially now that
impossible
7 has the
retake.
Hunter's Fury
Breachel
on
for
this plan.
breachel, Sova.
Sim could go for an early peek.
I mean, maybe Vic can go behind them.
Kind of isolate these duels. But TSM,
oh, he backs off. It's done.
Rolling Thunder, Hunter's Fury, waiting for a sound cue. But it's Flya's Rolling Thunder that comes out first, and no one checks the corner.
Really nice, man. Dude, TSM actually went on a run.
And now it's only Flya
Respect.
Came from Sim to send Moist Shopify out of playoffs. TSM Ascent.
Yes, 7 Kid is palmed up as well. He had an absolute map.
And a 4K on top of that, but a team together that has been grinding for the
Damn,
longest
that's cool,
time
man.
here in the stage 1 and stage 2. Where nobody thought.
Sim was insane, especially that first month.
TSM into the conversation that they could potentially ascend into.
Yeah, I think MxS is going to be looking at that second map more than anything.
Here we are, TSM doing the impossible, proving people wrong, and now have defeated MxS Shopify in a BO3.
And from the first round of the lower bracket, TSM got sent here by M80 in a 2-0, have battled through sad
Revenge arc, yeah, I'm telling you, getting kicked will do things to you.
Shopify to return for a grudge match against M80.
Bodwick handled it well. Is he streaming this as well?
No
Oh, bro, I can't even imagine.
What an insane day.
Just watching all your money go down the drain.
Has to say, so let's go check in with Sierra.
Uber Al Gaib.
Goober's over there, man, for real.
Okay, chat. Give me someone to raid. Give me someone to raid. I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to do EMEA. I'm not sure I'll be on for the final of this, but I'm at least going to stick for the EMEA final. See, check out some of the other teams that are going to Ascension.
TSM in this lower bracket.
Giving me a lot. Is Weeded streaming?
Yeah, they did it the hard way too. I mean,
has Weeded got anything crazy in his Twitch? He doesn't, right?
Sludge your way through this, through so many good teams is just so difficult, and it's a testament to their resilience and the experience and chemistry they have on this team. I mean, we taled about how scrappy their matches look sometimes, but
that's not the right one.
Never in question that they had the individuals on this team, right? The talent, the mechanics.
Almost.
It's just a matter of putting
almost
all the pieces
the wrong
together.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. I will see you all tomorrow for the EMEA play-ins final to go to Ascension as well. Wow.
Oh man,
we'll see. We've got one spot left there.
Look at those celebrations.
And I think that's the best of 5.
Man, I love that guy.
And then maybe I'm on for the Americas final. I'm not promising anything.
Them
we will see. If not, I'll be on for
this series and
obviously
this bracket.
champs.
So I know this means a lot to him.
And if I can get the pick'em stuff sorted, I'll do some kind of video or post it somewhere. All right. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day, evening, sleep, etc. All right. Peace.
But there's like 4 or 5 retake defusers on that defense side. They are so good at, getting
YouTube, take it easy. See you in a bit.